children who come here to be shaped and modeled. Help us understand you have called us from this crowd of billions of people out of the world. And that we must be wise and invest all what you have given us to eternal perspective. May your blessings be upon your people. And we want to commit the next part of this meeting into your hands. For in Christ Jesus we pray. God bless you.
Let us end this session by singing the first and the last stanzas of the hymn, Sing the Wondrous Love of Jesus, led by the school team. Do you mind standing? Let's rise up. Wondrous love of Jesus, sing his mercy and his grace. In the mansions bright and blessed, he'll prepare for us a place. When we all get to heaven, what a day of rejoicing that will be. When we all see Jesus, we'll sing and shout onward to the prize before us. Soon his beauty will behold. Soon the pearly gates will open. We shall tread the streets of gold. When we all get to heaven, what a day of rejoicing that will be. When we all see Jesus, we'll sing and shout the victory. I've been asked that we sing the entire hymn as they prepare something here. So let's sing the second and the third stanza. While we walk the pilgrim pathway, clouds will over the sky. But when traveling days are over, not a shadow, not a sign. When we all get to heaven, what a day of rejoicing that will be. When we all see Jesus, we'll sing and shout the victory. Just then be true and faithful, trusting, serving every day. Just one glimpse of him in glory will the toils of life. When we all get to heaven, what a day of rejoicing that will be. When we all see Jesus, we'll sing and shout the victory. Thank you. We may be seated. And that brings us to the end of the worship service. I will usher in my brother to take us to the next level. Karibu.
His Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Honorable Rigathi Gachagua, Her Excellency, the Second Lady, CES Education, Honorable Machogu, an old parent of the school, CES Transport, Honorable Murkomen, a current parent of the school, senior leaders of government, an old boy, Honorable Kimani Ichung'wah, leader of majority and my MP, Excellency Governors, Governor Kiambu, current parent, Governor Migori, old boy. Mine is to just take you through the next session, and I would like us to thank the clergy for just taking us through the service. Thank you very much, clergy. My name is Maurice Nduranu. I am the Deputy Chair of the Board of Management. I'm also the Chairman of the Old Boys Club. And we have two speeches from the side of the school that we'd like to make before we move on. We will start with the Chairman of the Board, my Chairman, Sam Cherry, Karibu Chairman, and we will be followed by the Chief Principal, Mwalimu Kamau.
Thank you very much indeed, Maurice. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I know you've been seated for a long time, so you may be a little tired. It's quite humid in here, and you're perspiring quite a bit, so your energy levels may be down, but please bear with us. We're not going to be too long. Your Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Honorable Rigathi Gachagua, Your Excellency, the spouse of the Deputy President, Pastor Dorcas, Cabinet Secretaries, CS Ezekiel Machogu, CS Honorable Kipchumba Murkomen. I was looking around and wondering whether you're around somewhere or hiding as usual. Your Excellency, this gentleman comes and hides away sometimes, and he says he's very shy. That's why he hides away. But we don't believe him. Governors present, Honorable Kimani Wamatangi, Honorable Achiro Wayako, old boy, karibu sana. The members of Parliament and senators present, and you have to excuse me by singling out old boy Honorable Kimani Ichung'wah, leader of majority. The founders of this school represented here today, and I request them to stand and wave by the following. Bishop Zablon Damburi, representing the Methodist Church. Mr. Wilberforce Wangalwa, representing the Anglican Church in Kenya, and a former teacher. Moderator, Reverend David Gadanju, representing the PCA. Last but not least, Bishop Abraham Mulua, representing the AIC. And Bishop, thank you very much indeed for the very good sermon that we've just heard on eternal perspectives. Chief Principal, Mr. Kamau Chomba, Deputy Chairman of Alliance Girls, is somewhere in the crowd, Professor Miriam Kinywa. Chief Principal of Alliance Girls, Mrs. Jedida Mwangi, I believe will be somewhere in the crowd as well. Parents, teachers, non-teaching staff, alumni, students, and board members. Ladies and gentlemen, may I on behalf of the Board of Management welcome you to this school on a very important occasion and a historic day when we have witnessed the laying of the foundation stone and marking the onset of the construction of the new chapel. If I may, Your Excellency, request the members of the Board of Management to stand, wherever you are. Could you please acknowledge them? Thank you very much indeed. These board members work tirelessly and they do not request for any sitting allowance, but they spend a lot of time on behalf of this school. This day is important and historic because of the following reasons. We have had two chapels in the past which were built using funds from outside the country. The 1937 chapel and the 1965 chapel. The project commencing today will be built using funds raised locally and from our alumni residing abroad. The two old chapels are too small for the size of the current and the anticipated increase in student numbers. That is why the Board of Management deemed it necessary to build a futuristic 4,500-seater capacity chapel, which will serve us well into the second century of this school. Your Excellency, allow me to introduce the members of the Board of Management that took this decision. Those who took the decision to build this chapel is not the current board, but the previous board. If I may request you to please stand, wherever you are. I saw quite a number of you. Thank you very much indeed. We have got 3 of them there, and I can also put up my hand. I was part of the team. Thank you very much indeed. Please be seated. This school will be 100 years in exactly 31 months or 954 days. And I bet the students have already started doing the granular calculation of the number of hours and seconds. The chapel has been designated the signature project for the centenary celebrations for this school. The school having been founded by an alliance of churches and its life having been based on Christian principles, the Board of Management could not have selected a more appropriate celebratory project to mark the centenary. We, however, do not and will not lose sight of the fact that this is a national school. And I dare say, an international school. And why do I say that? I'm an old boy of this school. And in my class, there were 2 boys from South Africa and 1 boy from Tanzania. In the class which was ahead of me, there were 2 boys from Nigeria. And we had quite a number of boys of Indian ethnic descent that time. I'll touch on that subject again a little later. This day is important as it formally marks the beginning of the centenary celebrations. Please get into the mood of celebrations. We take today as a soft launch of the centenary celebrations. The school chapel has always been at the heart of the life of any student who has passed through this institution in the molding of character of the boys into men. And we always say, Your Excellency, we always say, and you have had a taste of this, enter boys and exit men. And that is something that we really are proud of as an institution. Alliance that made boys from every corner of this country. Every sub-county in Kenya is represented in this school. It has always admitted boys from every strata of our society without discrimination. At the admission stage, this school witnesses some boys who come chauffeured in top-of-the-range motor cars, while others, and we experience this every year, Your Excellency, others walk to this school without shoes. However, by the end of the following day, after the arrival, you would not tell who came in what mood, and neither will you decipher any societal difference in the boys as they go about their business, that brought them to this school. By the end of the 4th year, the boys will have been meshed into a very strong unit, which also becomes a second support system at their family. I can tell you, I speak more often to my former classmates today than I speak to my brothers. Because I spoke to my former classmates at least once or every second day. I speak to my brothers maybe once a week. Once a child enters Alliance, the propensity for ethnicity is gone. The magnolias of our village wanes and nationalism just seen. How we wish this could be a rallying clarion for every school in this country. The school was designed to be an incubation center for leaders, and indeed, it has not disappointed. As we have had, and even today, can quote many of our alumni who have been and are in those poor positions nationally and on the global arena in every sphere of human race. Academically, well, I'll leave this topic to the chief principal to persecute in detail. Let me mention that the school has always excelled and has never vacated the top echelon nationally in this century of its existence, and we pray it will continue into the next century. The school has just completed, Your Excellency, developing the latest strategic plan, which is awaiting the formulation of the implementation plan. In this plan, which I do not wish to go into details of, the vision is that Alliance High School shall be, and I pause, Alliance High School shall be a transformative center of excellence in education, producing global leaders. That is the vision in our new strategic plan. A cynic will turn around and ask me, but it has been doing it over the years. Yes, it has been doing it. But now we wish to be, and we shall be, very deliberate about it. We shall need all the necessary support from your government, Your Excellency, to enable us to actualize this vision for the benefit of mankind. Allow me to mention, Your Excellency, but a few of our needs to assist us not just achieve this vision, but some of the urgent and desperate needs of the school. And I'll be very brief with this, Your Excellency. Number one is technology. The world is moving at a phenomenal pace in this direction. It is our wish to catch up with the rest of the world, and we know this too is the desire of your government. We are appealing to the government for additional computers for the school so that every student has access to modern technology. The preacher just made reference to modern technology. Today, it has become a basic need. We therefore present our need of at least just 300 computers only to your government, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, as you saw firsthand, the school needs additional science laboratories and classrooms. We have squeezed our boys into small spaces, some of which were built almost 100 years ago. And now we are at the tether end. Please hear our cry in this regard. Third, Your Excellency, you visited one of the oldest hostels, which is still in use. It was called Dom 9, and those of us who were here in the 70s, we used to call it the den of the criminals, the dormitory we went to this morning. Our hostels and dining facilities are congested, and we please need to increase the capacity so that our children live in good and more habitable facilities and can have meals efficiently. Your Excellency, we seek the indulgence of your government in this regard. Next is the sporting and recreational facilities. The growth in student enrollment has resulted in overstretching the sporting facilities. We need assistance to develop more sporting facilities now that we have the space of the fields. The efficacy of using the fields will be enhanced once the internal roads are upgraded to bitumen, and I'm looking at to bitumen or Cabral standards. I believe this is something CS for infrastructure can graciously handle if we put it in its in-tray. Your Excellency, we need increased water supply into the school. This is urgent. As the school population increases, the water supply we have has been dwindling in quantities. We therefore appeal to your government to assist us drill a borehole to increase the water supply in the school. I'm on my last one, Your Excellency. Allow me to present the last one. We have a concern about security. We have a concern here because the perimeter fence is quite porous. In 2015, we started the construction of a perimeter wall around the school with funds raised by parents, but we were stopped after we had done only 1 kilometer. Your Excellency, the Ministry of Education gave funds with which we did another 500 meters. We need to complete this project, which now looks like a stalled project. Your Excellency, once again, allow me to request if you can task the CS for infrastructure to find a few more cells to help us complete this wall. Ladies and gentlemen, I once again welcome you to Alliance High School, and I seek that we get into the celebratory mood, the centenary celebratory mood. But before I went up, Your Excellency, I did make reference to the fact that every year, every January, when we admit Form 1s, we'll get at least one child who will come to this school barefooted. On the 14th of January 1960, on the 14th of January 1960, there's a boy who walked into this school barefooted. In 1965, that boy was the deputy school captain of this school. And Your Excellency, in 1972, and let me digress a little bit and quote the Bible. It is said, prophets are never celebrated in their own homes. In 1972, this boy who walked into this compound barefooted was instrumental in Kenya hosting the United Nations Environmental Program headquarters in Nairobi. Your Excellency, this old boy is actually with us today. And I request him to come. That boy who came to this school barefooted on the 14th of January 1960, please come forward. Just wait there. This boy, Your Excellency, is wearing some comfortable shoes today. Your Excellency, this boy has written some 2 books. Your Excellency, this boy has written 2 books, but one of them is not yet in circulation. And the one is written, which is in circulation, is on matters environment. And Your Excellency, we request Mr. Donald Washieni Kanyaru to present this book to you. Yeah, I'm finishing. Yeah. I'm calling this principal. Thank you very much indeed, Donald. Thank you for acknowledging this boy. He's walking away nicely. And Your Excellency, with those many remarks, I now call upon the Chief Principal, Mr. David Kamau-Chomba, to come and make his presentation. Thank you very much indeed. God bless you.
Your Excellency, the Deputy President, Honorable Rigathi Gachagua, Your Excellency, the spouse of the Deputy President, Pastor Dorcas Rigathi. At least this time, the brain and the mouth have said the same thing. The other time they say different things. Sorry for that. I observe all protocols and appreciate everyone for being here and welcome you all. And I will take a very short time because of time, and kindly just allow me, Your Excellency, to confirm that Alliance High School that was intended by the founders, the 4 founders in 1914 and actualized in 1926, continues to offer that education, holistic education, that gives a wholesome student that goes on out there to excel. And you have seen our old boys. I do appreciate to see Honorable Chiro Ayako and also Honorable Mulkomen. And we appreciate our old boys for being out there and doing very well, keeping the flag of the school very high. And this afternoon, I wish to confirm to this gathering that Alliance High School today continues to offer the same education and to prepare the students to conquer the world. In last year's KCSE, CS, you recognize that we had 72 students who scored a straight A. I wish to recognize 9 of them who scored an A of 84 points. That is all the A's. In fact, out of the 9, 8 scored, all 8 subjects they were offering, they scored all A's. And if it is, thank you. By doing so, we had a 98% transition to university. We are targeting that we get it to 100%, and that is a challenge we have placed on our students, that everybody must work to ensure they score the minimum grade of a C+. Actually, we are putting it at a B- for this year. So if Your Excellency would be very kind, I would like to request the 9 boys to just line up here. Kimani Ben Mwangi, Rogers Kimeri Tanui, Ngetich Benedict Kiprotich, Ryan Kipkurui Ngetich, Ronnie Gavuku Jage, James Ogwal Buyuni, Mumo Mike Omwendwa, Koech Kimtai, Mwangi Paul Mudhuya. The 9 scored an A of 84 points. Congratulations. Kindly, Your Excellency, if you could hand over our prize to them for doing very well. And in keeping in the spirit of the school, we had 3 boys I wish to recognize. Isaac Omurwa, kindly come over very fast. Isaac Omurwa, Don Baraza, and Asanga, Leonard Asanga, kindly very fast, very fast. Omurwa, you'll be here by now. And I don't know why you are taking a long cut. Yes, those 3. Omurwa is the East African champion, 20 meters, 100 meters. Under 20. That is the brother to Omanyara. Don Baraza, strong to serve. Best representation of the spirit of strong to serve. He's actually a representative of the CMD Center for Multi-Party Democracy, where he was inducted because of his good presentation in one of their seminars. Leonard Asanga, a best in terms of spiritual development, very good speaker, very good preacher. And he's right now working with an NGO where he's doing a lot in contributing to the growth of the NGO. We thank you so much, Your Excellency. And with those many remarks, we promise all that we shall continue making sure the school delivers to its mandate. May I invite Honorable Ichungwa and I'm informed he's on a call. We appreciate highly those who have excelled. Within now, we still have students who are who are excelling. I may not call them here, but we have the Sportsman of the Year, who one of the boys has been selected, and after Form 4 will be going to Japan. He has been selected after excelling in rugby, and he'll be joining later in the year. May I welcome our women representative, Kiambu County women, welcome Kiambu County MP, Honorable Muratha. Karibu sana, Mheshimiwa. I've not seen you in a while, that's why I'm not. Thank you.
Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Praise the Lord. Bwana asifiwe. The clergy here present, Deputy President, His Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Rigathi Gachagua, also known as Ligiji, and the truthful man. He has 2, there are 2 names. Rigiji for the young people, and the truthful man for our generation. Our second lady and spouse to the Deputy President, Pastor Dorcas Rigathi, the Governor, Kiambu County, the Governor Chirwayako, the Senator, Kiambu County, the Minister for Education, the PS, Education, and all other PS is present. We are grateful and grateful indeed. And the students and wazazi mko wazima. Vijana mko poa? Mko fiti? Mumeokoka? Munapenda Yesu? Mumejua wanaume hawaoi wanaume? Mumejua wanaume wanaoa wanawake? Mumejua if you have to love, you can only love in alliance girls? and any other girl elsewhere and not a boy. Are we together in this? That our men will marry our girls and will have no man marrying any other man. Lakini hata maboi wanapendeaga maboi wengine nini aje? Unapenda aje mboi mwingine? Na venye mikono imekauka. We penda girl. Thank you very much. We really want to welcome all of you in the county of Kiambu as we celebrate the centenary of Alliance Girls and Alliance High School. A point of correction, Alliance High School, and we come to celebrate the doings of God. This is one place where we sit all as Kenya. This is the Kenya we look for, a place like Alliance Boys, Alliance High School. Not boys, Alliance High School. This is where we all sit as Kenya, where tribe does not matter, where religion does not matter, where there are no mandamanos, where there is no hate. This is where Kenya sits. And we really want to thank God that we are in Kenya today where students sit and they are only students and they are here to study. We thank God for Alliance High School having done 100 years and also knowing that it has produced the very best of the cream of this country and internationally. And we still want to wish you well, those of you who are still in this school and believing that you get to the next level. So I stood in for the area MP who in parliament does not give us peace because he did not go to other schools. He went to Alliance. And anybody who comes to parliament and everybody in Kenya knows that Kimani Ichung'wah did not just go to school. He went to Alliance High School. And we respect that. Our ML, we know you went to Alliance High School. Thank you. I was standing in for you. May God bless you.
Thank you.
And I did say I am Ann Wajikowa Muratha. He said the women rep. I am the woman rep, Kiambu County, also called the county member of parliament. Thank you.
Asante sana mama wetu wa county, Your Excellency the Deputy President, and your spouse, Pastor Dorcas. Cabinet Secretary is present, Governors present, and notably Old Boy Achilo, Governor Achilo Ayako, Governor Migori County, all members of Parliament, Senators, and the entire congregation, good afternoon. Maybe Your Excellency, I should start by telling my county woman rep that I didn't go to Alliance High School. I went to the Alliance High School. And Your Excellency, the Deputy President, before I make brief remarks, let me also appreciate our Cabinet Secretaries, including CS Kipchumba Murkomen, our CS Transport and Infrastructure, who now prides himself of having gone or come to Alliance. And I keep telling him there's a difference between saying I went to the Alliance High School and I have been to Alliance High School. CS Kipchumba Murkomen, who is now a parent here, has been to the Alliance High School. But his son, when the time comes, he will have the pride of saying that he went to the Alliance High School. Your Excellency, allow me to first begin by confirming before our very eminent leaders of the church, the Alliance of Churches that founded this school. Because a few months ago when we had the Shakahola massacre and Shakahola cult, CS Kipchumba Murkomen had the audacity to forward to me something that he collected on social media that's saying the next cult to deal with is a cult of those who say, I went to Alliance. Your Excellency, allow me to confirm this afternoon that I went to Alliance High School is not a cult. We are a generation of men who attended this school, left with a rich heritage, and we are extremely proud of what we got from this school. And we live on our lives appreciating the heritage of this school and everything that we learned and came out of this school with. Your Excellency, if you go to the back of our program, you will see the school prayer that guides every young man who walks into this school, from the day you walk into this school and for the rest of our lives. And in this school prayer, Your Excellency, you see that we prayed every morning in the school chapel that we may go out of this school strong in body, mind, and character. Therefore, Your Excellency, when you hear many of us pride ourselves, and we are often mistaken of being proud and arrogant because we speak our mind, we are strong in body, we are strong in mind, and we are strong in character. And that is a heritage that we walked out of the Alliance High School, founded on very strong and firm Christian background. And I must thank our clergy and our churches that founded this school and that continue to sponsor this school and stand with the young men who go through this school. Secondly, Your Excellency, may I also confirm, like the woman rep said, the young men in this school love their country, they love I could see some protest when Mheshimiwa Murada said they must love the girls at the girls' school, Acrosians. And we love Acrosians, just like we love Caucasians. And just like we love Bomerians. Your Excellency, you could hear the cheers from Caucasians because I also married a Caucasian. And even Chalks. And I missed out on Chalks, but I ended up in Cotet. Therefore, Your Excellency, these young men, as proud as we are, those of us who were here many years ago, and I remember I walked out of the gates of this school in 1994. That's slightly about 28 years, 8 months ago. I walked out of this gate, and then it was not as spectacular as it is today. Proud that I had done the best in the years that I was here of secondary school. Optimistic, but uncertain of the future. I must thank the Almighty God that I come back to Alliance today, not just as a member of parliament, hosting the Alliance High School, but also as a majority leader in the National Assembly of the Republic of Kenya, and joined by none other than Riggy G, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, who is fortunate because in his own household, he has an Acrosian who also happens to be an honorary old boy of this school, Pastor Dorcas Rigathi. He is an Acrosian and spouse to our Deputy President. Therefore, and his son, Daktari, is also an old boy. Daktari, maybe you should be able to stand up at this point. Daktari is also an old boy of this school. So, Your Excellency, we were certain when we saw you during the presidential debate, the kind of English that you used, we were certain for sure you had learned something from the Alliance High School through Pastor Dorcas Rigathi and your son. And I know the Deputy President, when the President requested him to come and represent him this morning, today, he told the president, lakini your excellency, hawa watu wa alliance wataenda kunikalia sana. And I assured him, we will spare him today because we need your support, your excellency, to help us realize the big dreams that we have for this great school. Your excellency, from the village you come from, a great man who was my principal in this school, Principal Wagitu, was my principal when I was in this school. And as we left this school, he indoctrinated in us what we keep saying. And he would tell us, don't just say, I went to Alliance. He would say, I went to the Alliance High School. And he would tell us there are only 2 schools in Kenya. The Alliance High School and the rest. And I say these things, Your Excellency, because we are often mistaken that we are proud, we are arrogant when we say that. Please forgive us, those of us who went to Alliance High School, that it is indoctrination that we went through every day of our lives for 4 years when you are very young men, like these young men in this school today. But Your Excellency, this school has produced eminent personalities in this country who have served this great country in various positions, both in public and the private sector, in international organizations like old boy Donald Kaniaru, who for the 4 years that we were here was our chair of the board, and we had immense learning to learn from Donald Kaniaru, who incidentally his son, Washieni, was also the deputy school captain when I was here, when I was in Form 3, and I lifted as a Form 3 to eventually serve as a Smith House captain in 1994. And in Dom 20A, and my Dom master, coincidentally again, was none other than our chief principal, Mr. Kamau, today. Your Excellency, may I report that in the year that I served as a house captain of Smith House was the best house in cleanliness. I hope they are still holding to that trophy. Kama mumerudi chini mumeniangusha. We are also the best house in farm work. In the paddock that faces Kikuyu Garden today, I think it was paddock G or paddock H. And we served this school very well with the chief principal. Allow me, Your Excellency, to welcome you to this school. And as you've seen when we took you through the tour of our school, the school that started in 1926, which was then referred to as the old school. And the late President Daniel Arap Moi built us the new school, the new administration block. And we moved to the new school, and I was fortunate when I was here, I was in Form 4C in the new school. But unfortunately, Your Excellency, you have witnessed that we have transitioned from the old school of 1926 to the new school of the 1990s. And now, unfortunately, we are back to the old school as the new school, because many of these young men here today are using classrooms, the science laboratory, libraries that were part of the old school. We want to believe, Your Excellency, with your support and the support of the government of the Republic of Kenya, we shall have the new Alliance High School with modern infrastructure, from academic blocks, science laboratories, and even a new dining hall. Hapo sana. And maybe I should mention, I was lifting to be the dining hall captain, but my brother Hassan Mohammed beat me to it, and he became the dining hall captain, but I was a shadow deputy dining hall captain. And I had a special seat at the senior prefect's table. I don't know if it's still there in the dining hall. sitting between the deputy school captain and the dining hall captain. And I also served as a senior prefect in charge of punishment. So members of parliament who are here know when we try to align Your Excellency, when we align them to party position, is because I also was fortunate to serve as a senior prefect in charge of punishment. And I can also confirm there is no boy who left in 1994 with any pending punishment. I made sure they all served their time, either uprooting a tree stump, slashing grass, or doing other palatable things. Then, Your Excellency, let me pause there, and you will allow me to invite just 2 leaders to speak on behalf of all the MPs, but I want to ask all the members of parliament to just walk here. I introduce them, then I will ask our senator for Kiambu County to speak on behalf of all the senators. I will also ask Mheshimiwa Njeri Maina, our women rep Kirinyaga County, on account of age, because we are in a boys' school, to speak on behalf of all the members of parliament. Waheshimiwa tafadhali, if you can just walk to the front so that I'm able to introduce you in the interest of time. Hawa waheshimiwa wote wamekuja na wametuletea pesa. Ndio tumekubaliana na wao na Deputy President watatusamehea, because in the interest of time we don't all speak. And maybe as I come, I'll begin from my right. Mheshimiwa Kihonge from Murang'a County, Kangema constituency. Our friend and neighbor, Engineer Kirago, Limuru constituency. Huyu mrembo na yeye, Mheshimiwa Jamatia, Baringo Women, County Women Rep. Mheshimiwa Rehab Mukami, Nyeri County MP. County MP to the Deputy President. Our good friend and neighbor, Mheshimiwa Mboro Kahangara, MP, Lari constituency. Senator wetu wa Deputy President, Nyeri County, Senator wa Matinga. Mama wetu and our good neighbor, Member of Parliament for Naivasha, Mheshimiwa Jane Kihara. Huyu mnamjua mama wetu wa county, Ann Wanjiko wa Murang'a. Mheshimiwa Kitayama Maisori Marwa, MP Kuria East. DMM Tallman, MP DMM Madhenge, Duncan Madhenge, MP Nyeri Town. Mheshimiwa jirani pia, Ruiru constituency, Mheshimiwa Simon Kingara. Igembe North, forgetting whether it's Igembe North or Igembe South. Igembe North, Mwalimu Taitumu, Mheshimiwa Taitumu. Senator Baringo, who is also a parent here. Senator Cheptumo. He's a parent in Form 4. This young man is called Kawajiko na UDA. This morning he told the Deputy President he is thankful. He went to the Gio boys and he has never been to Alliance. And he has thanked the Deputy President that at least the Deputy President has made him to come to the Alliance High School. This beautiful lady here is our Thika Town constituency member of parliament, Mheshimiwa Alice Nganga. And the brother is here in Form 3. Mheshimiwa, the young men are saying niwape namba yako nitawaandikia. Mheshimiwa Jane Kagiri, women rep, Laikipia County. Mheshimiwa Kagushia, our MP from Mukurweini constituency in Nyeri. He's saying from the Lenana school. I'm telling him it is Lenana school, not the Lenana school. Mheshimiwa Maina Karobia, our member of parliament in Iyala, the East African Legislative Assembly. He's still single, but he has committed that he is getting an acrosian. He attended a DEB secondary school. Mheshimiwa jirani yetu, Mheshimiwa Kabete constituency, Gedhua Wama Shukuru, he is telling me he attended a polling station primary and secondary school. Your Excellency, on behalf of all the future spouses of these great men who are attending this school, I want to ask our county women rep for Kirinyaga County, Mheshimiwa Njeri, to give these young men a few words.
The clergy, Your Excellency, all protocols observed, and the Alliance High School. Good afternoon. The girls, hi. Saseni. Mnakaa poa sana. My name. Oh, and the boys, you're looking lovely. Lakini msiombe namba. Sawa. Kidogo, I'm old enough to be your sister. Your Excellency, unajua leo asubuhi ni kama umenionea kidogo. Umeniuliza pale we Gasheri ulienda shule gani? Nikakwambia mimi nilienda Kiangoma. You know, even the name, Your Excellency. Lakini mimi kule bunge, I sit behind the majority leader. Now you know he makes it our business to understand that he went to the Alliance. Boys. Okay, the Alliance High School. Is that good? And you know, I often tell him, even if I went to Kiangoma, yeye anaitwa mheshimiwa, mimi naitwa mheshimiwa. The people of Kirinyaga County elected me at 28 years as a county MP. And I want to tell you, the young people in this room today, the world is yours for the taking. But are you ready? Answer me, are you ready? Yes. Are you ready? Yes. And I want to speak here and empower and inspire you to know that this world outside doesn't owe you anything. But you must be ready to take the lead. You must take the lead in agriculture, in artificial intelligence, in business, in law, in all other areas and sectors. Because we need the voices of young people. Young people bring in policies that impact on the fellow young people of this nation who form more than 50% of the populace. You can hear even my diction is perhaps better than the guy who went to the Alliance, right? Not so bad. So asanteni sana, and I have seen the CS education here. I want to ask and urge the government, let us give an equal opportunity to every child in this nation, because education is the only equalizer. Education is the reason I sit behind the man who went to the Alliance. A girl from Kiangoma sits behind the majority leader and represents the people of Kirinyaga County. Every child in this nation has a right to basic education, infrastructure, technical support, staffing needs that they need, so that we can empower every child for a better future. Asanteni sana. God bless you. We are waiting for you.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa Njeri. Your Excellency, the reason I wanted Mheshimiwa Njeri, as we discussed, to speak to these young men is for them to hear she went to Kiangoma Secondary. Just like the member of parliament for Kabete went to a polling station secondary school, and today they are proudly serving Kenyans as able members of parliament and doing a great job for our republic. So it does not matter what school you went to, it is the power of education. Mheshimiwa Karongo Adhangwa.
Thank you very much, Mheshimiwa Ishongwa, Your Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Governor Kiambu, all protocols observed, the Alliance School, hamjambo. Sijui sisi walioenda shule inaitwa mmonyoko wa udongo tutasema aje. But I was lucky to go to a better school, a seminary that is in Eldoret. And I remember our teachers used to tell us, just by getting here, by getting inside these gates, you already have a C+. So kazi yako ni either usome ama ungoje nini? C+. Lakini tulisoma na tukapata vizuri. Your Excellency, I am waiting for the photos that we have taken here today, so that I can post tomorrow, not today. So that I can speak in past tense. And I only write one sentence. I went to the Alliance School. Hapo nifikishe hapo. Nitakuwa nimekosea si niko hapa? Mine not to speak or to say many words. But Your Excellency, I remember when you took the trip of the whole school, I was just a few steps behind you. And when you were just about to plant a tree, you laid a foundation, stone foundation, for the new chapel that is coming up. And when you did the cement and everything, my good friend that we used to stay in the same neighborhood, called Mr. Agri, who was taking you through, said that here is a bottle, you have signed some message inside there, I want you to close that bottle, and then we put it in the foundation, and we bury it there with a message. And Your Excellency, you buried a bottle there. As soon as you did that, Mr. Agri said, we are planning to open that bottle after 200 years. Wow. And the only person who understands what is written there, it is the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. And they say, just like we are here celebrating 100 years of the Alliance High School, we are going to have our children and children of our children, after 200 years, to come here and read that message and, of course, appreciate the work you did. Now, I went to the Deputy President. Nikamuuliza, si uniambie umeandika nini? Kaniambia wewe ngoja miaka 200. So at least for me, I know I'm waiting on something. I'll be here, so that I can come and read that message. Finally, Your Excellency, as we are going round, we were walking, we had somebody was showing us around, Captain Joshua Kimani, and we interacted. And he asked me a question. And he told me that here we have about 100 prefects. And they would want to come to Parliament to see how we run business, so that they can also be inspired to be better leaders of today when they get there. And I want to tell them, I've talked to Honorable Ishongwa, and we have agreed to take you for a one-day tour of both the Parliament and the Senate, all the 100 prefects, when you open school after August, so that mukuje muone what happened, or what happens. Finally, Your Excellency, nimeulizwa tu hapo, sitasema ni nani, kapteni mwingine, akaniambia, sasa, nyinyi, wanasiasa, mnatuambia hapa shule tusifanye maandamano, na nyinyi mnafanya huko nje. Nikamwambia mimi ukaniona kwa maandamano mimi? But that is a question that we have to ask our leaders today. That if we are telling our children to follow a certain path, we have to assure them we as the leaders, we as the parents are going to follow the same path. Kwa hayo machache, mimi naitwa Karungo Wadhangwa, the miracle senator of Kiambu County. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator Karongo. Your Excellency, as Senator Karongo has said, let me also use the words of Bishop Mulwa, who is my very good friend, who gave us a very good sermon this morning. That indeed, Bishop, as you said, there is nothing Christian in selling each other stones, whether it is 20 shillings or 50 or 100 shillings. And the demonstrations we have witnessed in this country over the last few weeks and months, Bishop, you've asked us a very critical question whether in a country that professes that 80% of us are Christians, whether we want to engage each other in demonstrations that turn out to be violent, end up with bloodshed, with loss of life, with massive destruction of public and private infrastructure and property. And Bishop, let me confirm to you, as we communicated yesterday between myself and the leader of minority, we have engaged, as the church has often called on us as leaders to engage, and we have made a conscious decision that we shall no longer in this country use violence, anarchy, and bloodshed as a currency for negotiating political power. That we must live and abide by the rule of law and our constitution, that we must make determination of how we govern our country at the ballot box, on the day of elections, and the day elections are announced. If any one of us has a grievance from an electoral process, we shall follow the rule of law and the constitution to sort out whatever differences or misgivings we may have with an electoral process. Therefore, Your Excellency, as you and the President have guided, I must also appreciate the position that has been taken by our colleagues in the minority, that we now all agree, whether you're in the majority or in the minority, whether you're in government or in the opposition, that violence, anarchy, and bloodshed shall not be a way of transacting business in the Republic of Kenya. And I want to take this opportunity, Your Excellency, to assure the country that, as we indicated yesterday, with the guidance of the party leaders in the two coalitions, we shall embark in that process of dialoguing and talking to each other so that we may resolve the 5 issues that we indicated as the agenda of that committee that we will set up. That, Your Excellency, is not to say that the cost of living is not an issue to the people of Kenya. And indeed, globally, Your Excellency, you know, and I'm glad you just came from the FAO meetings in Italy. You know, the challenge of the cost of living is a global problem. And Your Excellency, you also know we all went out to the people of Kenya with manifestos, and our manifesto in Kenya Kwanza, which called or christened the plan, had solid and achievable plans that we indicated we will roll out if we go to government. And we all agreed, Your Excellency, that given an opportunity to implement that plan, we have the know-how, we have the means, and we are capable of changing the tide and bringing down the cost of living. And we appreciate the role of the opposition or the minority in oversighting government to ensure that this government will implement what they went out, or what we went out to the Kenyan people to sell to them, that we shall do when we are government. And we have indicated, Your Excellency, that on the question of the cost of living, we will allow the minority to have all the latitude in line with our laws and the Constitution to criticize, to propose better measures than they think would do better than we are doing, but to never, ever use violence as a means to engage on political issues or on governance issues. And I want to confirm that to our leaders in the church, that we in Kenya Kwanza, we commit that we shall abide by what we have agreed. And violence will never be allowed to be a currency to use to transact any governance or political questions in the country now and in the future. And may God help us. Kwa hayo mengi, Your Excellency, allow me, as I stand here, to ask the Governor Kiambu County to come give us his brief remarks. He will tell us what school he went to. But more importantly, Governor, now that you are the Governor of Kiambu County that hosts the Alliance High School, we look forward to support from the county government of Kiambu. And I'm sure you walked with us through the schools, through the school infrastructure, and you have seen the challenges that we have. And there are some that will be looking up to you, and I'm sure the Chief Principal and the board have been engaging you on these issues. I will ask you, Governor, to recognize the Speaker and the MCAs who are present, but allow me to recognize our MCA Kikuyu Ward, because that is the MCA who hosts the Alliance High School, MCA James Kamau. Governor will introduce the others just in the place where they are. Karibu.
Thank you. That's okay. Your Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Rigathi Gachagua, Second Lady, Pastor Dorcas Rigathi, or other political protocols observed, members of the clergy, our hosts today, the Busharians, the Alliance High School Fraternity. Did I say it well? And the Croatians. Am I a good student? Do I learn fast? Members of the clergy, our visitors today, let our parents here, members of the board, let me take this opportunity, Your Excellency, to welcome everyone, and especially yourself, and Second Lady, to Kiambu County. And I'm a proud governor, Your Excellency, to stand here amidst all the intimidation from the Ishongwa said it is not a cult. Shall we call it a movement? And Your Excellency, that extreme intimidation that there are only two schools, the Alliance and the rest. Your Excellency, before I say one or two words, which I will do very quickly, let me ask members of the County Assembly of Kiambu, led by the Speaker, to come forward, stand here. Let's get to introduce them very quickly so that we can move quickly. Members of the County Assembly, please come forward, the ones that are here. And Speaker, County Assembly, you can just come up quickly. We'll be very fast. Speaker, come up. And Speaker, I'll just allow you to introduce the rest of the members. Comments I'll make on your behalf. so that we can be expeditious of time.
Thank you, Governor. Your Excellency, the Deputy President, Second Lady, all protocols observed. It's a pleasure to be here. And as the Senator said, I'll equally have the pleasure of saying that I came to the Alliance High School. How I came is a different issue. Your Excellency, the Deputy President, I know as I introduce my members, we are being told here that there are two schools, the Alliance High School and the rest. Me and you also, once you get out there, because we share an alumni at the Nairobi University, once you get out there, we equally know there are two universities, the University of Nairobi and the rest. So, tuko pamoja hapo. Wacha ni introduce my honorable members. We have Honorable Ruth Waithera Wanjiko, elected member, Githega Ward, Githunguri Sub-County. Tumpigie makofi. Tuko na Mheshimiwa Evanson Mwigu, kutoka Kino Ward, hapa Kikuyu Sub-County. Tumpigie makofi. Hapa tuko na host MCA, my good friend, Mheshimiwa Kamau Foro, Kikuyu Ward, Kikuyu Sub-County. Haya tuko na Mheshimiwa Joroge Ishembe, kutoka ward inaitwa Karai, hapa Kikuyu Sub-County. Tumpigie makofi. Hapa tuko na Mheshimiwa Gladys Wamboi, specially elected, kutoka hapa Kikuyu Sub-County. Hapa tuko na Mheshimiwa Dan Gitau, elected member, mahali tunaita Gatongora. Gatongora ni pale Ruiru, mahali inaitwa Kamakis, mahali watu wanakula nyama. Hapa tuko na Mheshimiwa Jane Dhogori, elected MCA, Gitaro Ward, Kabete Sub-County. Tumpigie makofi. Hapa tuko na Mheshimiwa Alice Wangoi, Kamau, ama tunamuita cute ni hiyo ndio jina tumempatia, specially elected kutoka upande wa Muguga. Tumpigie makofi. Hapa tuko na Mheshimiwa Shiko Muturi, pia ni specially elected kutoka hapa Kiambu County. Tumpigie makofi. Asanteni sana. Thank you very much, Governor, for your indulgence. Mimi nenda haraka sana. Kwa majina naitwa wakili Charles Thiongo. Mimi ndiye nafanya kazi kama speaker wa bunge letu la Kiambu. Asanteni sana. Mwenyezi Mungu awabariki. We are proud of you. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, I also happen to have sat in the Senate with quite a number of members of the movement. And those members, Your Excellency, this afternoon, are also represented here by my brother and friend. We served together in the second Senate, Governor Dr. Ochilo Ayako. And I will not forget to say the governor of Migori. Karibu ndugu yangu, to say a word.
Hello, everybody. Your Excellency, the Deputy President and the Second Lady, all protocols observed. I must confess that I also went to the Alliance High School. And I am a proud member of the Old Boys Club of the Alliance High School. Now, before I make very few and appropriate remarks, Your Excellency, Governor of Kiambu, behind me was seated the First Lady of Kiambu, and she tapped me and said, since you did not go to the Alliance High School, you forgot to introduce her. So now that I have said so, I know you will do it. I've just said that on a light note. Now, I do not want to say that I came with my First Lady of Migori County. I came by myself. And those of us who are here today, lately I've been feeling very lonely. This is the first time that I really feel at home. From where I come, there are also governors who are colleagues who went to the Alliance High School who were equally invited. I'm feeling lonely because of the acrimony that has engulfed this nation. I wasn't able to talk to Governor Orengo and find out if he was making it. I wasn't able to talk to Governor Nyong'o, who are also old boys of this school. I didn't even talk to my colleague, Governor Wamatangi, because of the loneliness that I feel lately and the sadness that I see around when our nation is pitted against itself, contrary to what His Excellency Jesus said, that a house divided cannot stand. So that is why I came by myself. I wasn't so sure what will happen here, but I can see some normalcy coming back. Your Excellency, when you arrived and walked in, I sat there because as an old boy, this is my home. So I sat there. I wasn't able to meet you as part of the leadership fraternity here and welcome you. Forgive me for that. That's all right. Now, I want to thank the clergy who are here. You represent a very visionary church or churches. The alliance of churches who came forward and decided to start a high school for the natives. A high school for the natives. So as I was coming here today, I want to say that I am one of the natives for which this school was started. And I'm a native number, admission number 5266, having been in Francis House and having been a prefect here, a soccer captain, an athletics captain, and a prefect of dormitory 15A in the old school. We now have the new school. I was here in the second last decade of last century. So that sounds a very long time ago, but that's the truth. And it is the Alliance High School that gave me the national perspective. When I joined University of Nairobi as a law student, we started agitating for the return of SONU, the Students' Organization of University of Nairobi. And those with whom we were in the University of Nairobi, I was the only one with the knowledge of national membership of all the students we have. So the first SONU that was reconstituted, I basically invited very many people because Alliance High School gave me the knowledge of every part of this country and every student who was from that part of that country. So Alliance High School is a great school and deserves to be the Alliance High School. That is why I'm proud of this school, and that is why I came here today to fellowship with fellow Christians here, but also to do what Jesus said in one of the parables. If you remember the parables of the 10 lepers, Jesus healed the 10 of them, and only one of them returned. So I'm one of them who has returned. I'm sure many of us have returned here to say thank you to Alliance High School for making me what I am today. I want to tell students who are here today, you are or you will be as wealthy as the networks you make. And Alliance High School gives you a lot of networks. As a minister for energy, I got re-elected and appointed minister for energy in 2004. And because of the networks we had and we still have as Alliance High School, in my energy sector reform program, I was the minister. The managing director of KenGen went to the Alliance High School. The managing director of Kenya Power went to the Alliance High School, and many other appointments followed that connection. So as you go through school, remember that this school will open many doors for you, and you will be as wealthy as the networks you make. So I want to encourage us who go through schools, not just Alliance High School, make networks of friends, meet many people and keep them as close to yourselves as possible. I want to thank Kimani Waichunga. And Kimani Waichunga, when I came to Alliance High School those many years ago, I was George Ochilo Mbogo Ayako. In this school, I met our chaplain then called Goodright, and our English GP teacher was called Mr. Welch, Frederick Welch, the husband to Ellen Welch, who was teaching the Acrosians. And he told me this, that you, a native, should not be proud of being called George. You should be called Ochilo Mbogo Ayako. And since then, I've never looked back. So I am sure Kimani wa Ochunga must be having some Christian name. So he was told that he should use Kimani wa Ichunga because he was a part of the natives. That's why, although I'm a Christian, I'm Ochilo Mbogo Ayako and he's Kimani wa Ichunga. That we also learned here, to be proud natives, to strongly serve our nation without necessarily looking down upon our names, our traditional names or our native names, and just wearing, the names that we acquired from other places. So you will notice that most students, absolute Christians from this day school, are identified by their native names. I will conclude by saying that I had occasion to come back here as the 10 lepers I mentioned in 2004 under the leadership of Mr. Kanyaru. Now, Mr. Kanyaru invited me as minister and the Attorney General of that time, Emeritus Amos Wako, who was an old boy, and we were able to build some of the dormitories here. I am saying that so that as you graduate through this school, do not forget what you learned here. Your Excellency, I'm just finishing. As we talk about these mandamanos, my county is one of the counties that undermine us absolutely. You see it in the news everywhere. And the saddest bit that leadership must deal with, my county has lost very many young people who are shot and killed. I do not want to be the judge of the reasons for which they were shot and killed. But they are dead and they are not here today. The bishop who preached here, those fellas will not come back and be reformed and perhaps recognize Jesus, because we are talking about Christianity today. They are dead. But the saddest bit for me, I have never joined the Mandamano, but my people are absolutely there. And because of Article 21, I have been very supportive of the activities, not violence or bloodshed. But surprisingly, as these things were going on, I went to my home one night at 8 o'clock, and all my security was withdrawn, including personal protection. I do not want it to be addressed here, but I just want, as these discussions are going on, let us have discussions that do not create more victims than is necessary. Let's have discussions and dialogue that creates healing and one nation for all of us. With those many remarks that I've said, may God bless all of us and we may succeed individually and collectively. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Your Excellency, I think now you have evidence that this terror of thee continues. You can see that even when I invited my very good friend here courteously, because he belongs to the terror group, now you can see he even now tries to manage my home. And you know, Your Excellency, I was waiting to introduce First Lady, my wife, in style. But because, and Your Excellency, I will tell you, as a matter of fact, C.S. Murkomen will come here, he will tell you, the terror we faced in the Senate with him. That group you hear of Anyang' Nyong'o, Ochilo Ayako, he even never said one day he was George. We had Orengo. We also had Amos Wako. And that was a serious terror group. In fact, me and Murkomen, with all the accolades behind Murkomen's life, as a constitutional lawyer and as a lecturer in major universities in this country, and others of us with huge resumes, we could never, ever make a serious discussion with these guys, because every time when we rose to raise a matter on the floor, they would ask, which school did they go to? And Your Excellency, and Your Excellency, I think it is a high time that the rest of us, me and you and the others, also sit and plot. We must deal with the terror group. Your Excellency, anyway, when I did my KCPE, or CPE, Your Excellency, those years alongside with Akina Ochilo Wayako, I was slightly ahead of the rest of our Akina Ichungwa. In my school, Your Excellency, which is just across the road, ridge here, very near, I had a headmaster who would come to class every day, and he didn't utter any other words when we were in class 7. He would say, I want A, Alliance High School. And then he would walk out. And then the following day, when it's time when he's doing an inspection around the school, he would come and enter again the class. That time we were usually one stream. He would come and again say, I want A, Alliance High School. So, Your Excellency, this got into us. When I sat for my examinations, as we were about to sit for the examination, Your Excellency, and we were given those papers to fill, which school do you want to go to? I remember Alliance High School, and I remember the influence and power of peers. Because I sat together with a boy who was a huge competitor to me all my life, from nursery school up to way after high school. We sat together. He was my competitor to death. And Your Excellency, because I would be number 1, he would be 2. I would be 1, he would be 2. He would be 2, I would be 1. Your Excellency, when you were given those papers to fill, why I call it the power of peer influence, with all the things that the headmaster said every day, I want A. Your Excellency, when we got the paper and pen, this boy whispered to me and he said, no, let us fill Nyandarua High School. Because his brother was there in Nyandarua High School. And with all that influence that the headmaster had instilled in us, vanished that moment. And so I found myself taking a pen and I filled Nyandarua High School. Not that I regret, but Your Excellency, when I started for the examinations, I was the best student in my school that time. And I dare say, I think, that time regionally. But because of that, what I didn't come. But I'm also proud of where I went, because the young man who sat with me, Your Excellency, billionaire investor. And the guy who he told to fill Nyandarua High School is also the governor of Kiambu County. So that's why I was saying, Your Excellency, we are not doing badly in the other side. Lastly, Your Excellency, when we have been here, Your Excellency, I want to confirm that my administration has done a very good job, and a good job to the extent of cooperating with the institutions that are around our county, Your Excellency, including the Alliance High School. Your Excellency, when I went to office, my first clients, when I went there 8 months ago, was the administration of the Alliance High School. And when they came to me, they had applied, Your Excellency, to have this chapel that today you have laid the foundation stone to. They had applied and waited 1.5 years for them to get approvals. Your Excellency, when they came, I did it in 1 day, and they left with their approvals. Your Excellency, here, when we came for a visit, because I forgot to confirm, Your Excellency, that although I didn't go to the alliance, I vowed that we are going to revenge. So now in my home, I became that teacher who would say, I want A. So I told my sons, you will have to revenge for me. My son is here in Form 3 now. And I believe he took the revenge. I have a last one now who will be a candidate this year. And he knows Daddy's instructions. It is to the Alliance High School. Your Excellency, when I visited here, we were told that there was a problem together with some of my colleagues. This road, from the main road, Your Excellency, up to where you found us, was impassable. And we undertook that we were going to tarmac that road together with the contractor was here, Engineer Jenga, and within 3 months, Your Excellency, we have tarmacked that road all the way. That's why you found the entrance to the school is good, Your Excellency. We committed that also we were going to work on the sewer line, on the sewerage, Your Excellency. We did the sewerage, and only the last mile is remaining, and we commit, we're also going to do that last mile and ensure that the sewage is flowing and good. And that is the kind of cooperation, Your Excellency, that will be given. I have been told quite a number of times, Your Excellency, that we have a problem with water here. And as the county government, because the water service providers are under the county government, I also commit, Your Excellency, that we are going to take on that water problem and resolve the problem in this institution. Lastly, what I would want to request, Your Excellency, to the administration, we have had these proposals. I made this proposal myself. Because these young men who are bright minds in this school, and even the young girls, the Croatians, as they finish institutions like universities and other places, for them to share some of the knowledge that is within county governments. We could have internship programs for them before they live, and that would add value. You have kept us on top of the map in Kiambu County, and we want to say thank you. God bless all of you, and we'll be here together to do what we have to do. Asanteni sana. Thank you.
Thank you. Our accompanied by your spouse, Governor. And as you have indicated, your daughter has been at a cross, your son is here. And I've just told Mwalimu, the one who is in class 8, should he do well, he must come to the Alliance High School. But I'm sure you will not want him to live in the conditions these young ones are living in. And I am sure some of the commitments you have made, especially on the last mile connectivity of the sewer program, because Adi Water Services has now completed the entire sewer line from Kikuyu town to Dogoto and around the school from both ends of the school. If you can assist the school with the last mile connectivity between the dormitories, the dining hall, the teachers' houses, that would come in handy. On water, Governor, I can also report, and the Deputy President will be announcing, part of Solutions to the Water Program, and Mwalimu is aware, the Ministry of Water, Sanitation and Irrigation has committed to doing a new borehole for the school to ensure that there is water. But again, the school entirely depends on water from Kikuyu Water, and you know the challenges that we've had. I just asked Mwalimu to write to your office to help him with the solarization of the borehole. The school is spending a lot of money paying electricity bills, so at least you help us to have solar power for the boreholes and maybe some of the infrastructure around the school. Your Excellency, Deputy President, P.S. Hinga, as you're also aware, is an old boy of this school. He was my classmate, but I think he was in Francis, if not, I think it was in Francis or Grieve House. And he's been here, and their commitments I know he made through the chair of the Old Boys Club. He has committed that part of the commitments that he made in terms of monetary contributions, together with P.S. Kombudo, our P.S. trade, he's also an old boy of this school. Kombudo, I think, was in Livingstone House, 2 years behind me. Like Maurice Nduranu, who was my house captain when I was in Form 2. And I must thank Nduranu because he also he was my great guardian. Alinichunga, na sasa mimi namchunga pia, venye alinichunga when I came here as a young man. Your Excellency, with those very many remarks, allow me with respect to welcome not just a cabinet secretary, but a friend to this school. CS Machogu, who is Ezekiel Machogu, who is our CS Education, served me when I was in primary school as a DO, and at times when I tended to be naughty, he could come because he was a friend to my dad. He would come and pull my ears and tell me, lazima usome uende Alliance. And I never let him down. He served as our DO here in Kikuyu in the mid-80s. And CS, as I welcome you here, let me also express regret for what Governor Ochilo Ayako has said, that indeed it's sad when we lose the young people. And most of them are young men like this, and that is why we have committed, Your Excellency, that we shall no longer allow young men, women, and other people in this country to lose life, or other people to even lose their property on account of politics. And that, Your Excellency, may I also take this opportunity to confirm to the country, because I know there are sentiments, people asking, is this a handshake? We have also made a firm commitment to the people of Kenya that they elected a government, that government will govern singularly. We are not in the business of handshakes. We are not in the business of engaging on how to share power and positions. We shall engage on issues that are people-centric, people-centered issues. Kwa hayo mengi, waziri wetu wa elimu, na najua uko na mipango mingi, umeona ile shida tuko naye ya hii shule, utusaidie. Ukitupea pesa mwaka huu, I can assure you, Waziri, pale kwa bunge, I will mobilize all these members of parliament to make sure that they vote in at least a budget of about 100 million this financial year, another 100 million the next financial year. Na tukiendelea hivyo 2027, I am sure by 2026 when the president comes for the 100-year celebrations, all this infrastructure in this school will be new. And these young men will have a new school. Kwa hayo mengi, Mungu awabariki. Karibu Waziri.
Yeah, thank you. Your Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Your Excellency, the Second Lady, Your Excellencies, the governors here present, the principal secretaries present here, the members of parliament, the parents of this great school, the principal, the chairman, and all protocols observed. Good afternoon. Good afternoon once again. Your Excellency, I want to confess that indeed I have an history with this school. Sometimes I also forget and I think as if I'm one of them, because way back in the 1970s, the school of my choice, the school that I wanted to come to was Alliance Boys. But unfortunately, I was not able to make it. My elder brother, who I was the immediate follower, was in this great school, and courtesy of him and the courtesy of Alliance Boys, I was a distant runner, running by correspondence. Whatever used to happen in Alliance Boys, I used to get the notes, I used to get the questions, and that's how, from the small school I was, we were able to emerge better and good grades at Division 1, which at that time, comparatively, also ended in becoming even better than what some of us who were in this great school were able to get. Years later again, I served in this great area as a district officer, as a government officer in Kikuyu during my time, and Your Excellency, for some reason, Moi used to like this school and also Alliance Girls. When he was building a school near here, known as Moi Kamangu, of which I was the clerk of works, each and every time he used to come to Alliance Boys and Alliance Girls, and you can see what he did. The administration block plus the modern classrooms in Port here and Alliance Girls. Again, finally, I ended in getting people in the house who remind me each and every time that, Daddy, you know, we went to their alliance. My two boys were here, and my last one was also in the other school. Even when I was serving here, my wife was also a teacher in Alliance Girls. So I have that history with this great school. And Your Excellency, one thing that I want to confirm is that indeed this is our topmost school in this country. It is not only the beacon of knowledge and character development, but it is the symbol of holistic, excellent performance in academic and also in extracurricular activities. It is one such school that has produced top men in this country, top readers, and as someone said, indeed, here you go to each and every sector of the economy of this country. Your Excellency, may it be in the executive, may it be in National Assembly, may it be in the Senate, may it be the governors, may it be anywhere, the top innovators, the people who are at top in the social change are mostly from Alliance Boys and also from across the Alliance Girls. Keep it up, Alliance Boys, and indeed when you come here, we don't expect anything less than you making it university. Last year, KCSE 2022, we had 9 because, Your Excellency, as we said, There is the software part where we have done very, very well over the years, making sure that almost 100% transition to our universities. Last year, we had only 2% who were not able to make it to university. I have the confidence and the faith that this particular year, 2023, Your Excellency, we should be able to have 100% making it to our university. Your Excellency, I also want to thank the school community, the clergy who are here, the board of management, for indeed making it possible for us to have a very key project that will mark this particular celebration of 100 years coming up with the chapel. Why the chapel? Because even in the word of the Lord, it says the beginning of the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom and knowledge. There is nothing else, nothing as important as that, and of course, it will be able to inculcate the necessary values of Christianity in our youth, in our young people, and in the process, Your Excellency, we hope that we will be able to produce people from here who will be able to serve the country in the very near future. Finally, Your Excellency, I want in a very special way for Kenyans to know, particularly those who are here, that you and His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, the Ruto Gachagua administration, has given priority to matters education. Your Excellency, you have demonstrated this, you have clearly shown this out of the allocation that you were able to give this particular financial year, because we have 630 billion, an amount that has never been given before in this country ever since the time we achieved our independence. We now have 29.7% of the total allocation in the budget, and you can see the kind of demonstration, the kind of person that the Ruto Gachagua administration have in matters of education, because they know it is only through education that we will be able to sharpen the necessary skills, required skills and the competencies required in order for us to undertake our national development in this country. I want to assure you, Your Excellency, that the reforms, educational reforms, particularly the rollout in the CPC, is following a systematic path, and we are on course, and we have introduced something that is responsive to what we have globally, that our young people will be able to compete effectively with those from other countries. And in 2 years, Your Excellency, the first cohort of CPC will be here in Form 1 the year 2026, and I'm sure that the school is adequately preparing for the 3 pathways that we will have when we come to 2026. That is STEM, humanities, social sciences, sports, and also performing arts. So we thank you and undertake as a ministry that indeed we will be able to utilize the funds given in a prudent manner for the benefit of these young people and the Kenyans as a whole. With those remarks, Your Excellency, my PS, Perio, Dr. Perio Kipusang, please stand and wave. Perio is the Principal Secretary, PERSIC. We have 3 directorates, and each and every one of them, through the guidance of the Ruto Gachagua administration, there is a lot going on in Tibet, and you also know the kind of reforms, particularly on funding that we have done in universities, including the National Open University that Your Excellency, through your initiative, we are rolling out. His Excellency the President will be launching on the 2nd, that is on Wednesday, so that we can be able to make higher education accessible to all Kenyans. We also have the directors of education here. Director of secondary, Dr. Kibet is here. We have the regional director, the county directors, and other senior officials of the ministry are here. Before I invite you, Your Excellency, allow me to recognize and acknowledge the presence of my brother, and my colleague in cabinet, the CS Transport, Mheshimiwa Kikuchumba. Please come. This man here, Your Excellency, we have a lot of asks, and I'm sure with this concurrence, there's something you can do for the benefit of this school. Karibu.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Your Excellency, the Deputy President, Pastor Dorcas, Your Excellency, Pastor Dorcas, our leaders who are present, the Alliance High School fraternity. The last time I was here, for the first time, Your Excellency, I came to a school that does orientation for parents. I thought orientation is only for students, but you also do it for parents. So the last time I was told, you don't need to say the Alliance High School. Just say the school, and that's all. The clergy, led by my bishop, are here, and the representative of the 4 Alliance churches. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon again. Your Excellency, I'm really privileged to be here. That I had a chance to visit this very important school today for such a very important exercise, which is laying a foundation for an infrastructure that will be signature for the institution for another 100, 200 years. I know that the work you've done this morning, it will be remembered for many years. And the work we are about to do will be remembered for many, many years. Your Excellency, I didn't come to this school not because I didn't qualify to come here, but because I was called to an even better school. That's what I always tell my son, that you only came here because you did not go to St. Patrick's High School. The good story is that everybody you go to your school, everywhere, you're always told you are privileged to have come to this school. And there is no better school like this in the world. But I must be very honest. This school has something unique. Whereas all other schools can give children to get A's, and the other schools can make children to become leaders like us who do not manage to be in this school like Kimani Ichung'wa. The very unique thing of the Alliance High School is the ability to build traditions. You see, this is what is lacking in this country. Lack of an identity of institutions. Lack of values that are ingrained in people. The Alliance High School prides itself of having this unique, because I was in class in the University of Nairobi with many of my friends, and I suspect some of them are here, who were my classmates. But you would recognize the uniqueness of the confidence built on the students by virtue of coming to this school. And the leadership qualities ingrained in them. Whether they served as in class or served elsewhere, you are just a leader when you leave this gate. And so if there are things that other schools can learn from this school, is the leadership, is the values. Everybody can get knowledge elsewhere. Everybody can get certificate elsewhere. But here, what they have succeeded to do is to build an institution that has values. And if we want to succeed as a country, we must establish an institution that has values. Number 2, Your Excellency, what I find very unique about the old schools, one of which is the Alliance High School, is the fact that when people are even in the Senate, where I was, Ochilo Ayako here, James Orengo, my friend, Professor Anyang' Nyong'o, and all of us who are there, including Amos Wako, all of them, and I don't know why they choose the opposition side, but that's a story for another day. But all of them always found their high school as a point of reference. Meaning, Your Excellency, if we want to create an intervention in terms of leadership, values for this country, what Pastor Dorcas, Her Excellency, is doing
by investing in young men is what we should do as a government. And it must be that we must use our schools to become the center of building men and women who can have values to lead this country for the next 200 years. We are spending a lot of time, Your Excellency, talking to people who are throwing stones in the streets. Their time is so short. The people we should speak to are these young people. Because when we invest in them, we are able to salvage our country. And Nelson Mandela said something very unique, very profound, that no one is born to hate. No one is born to hate another person because of race, because of tribe, because of region, because of all that. All these things can be learned. And because you can learn to hate, we can as well teach people to love. And I think if we must build a country, a society that doesn't have tribalism, that has national unity, that people will contribute, whether they are in this party or the other party, these are the people we need to invest in. And I want to thank you for coming here, for the things that have been requested here. I know everybody here has been trying to have his connection to Alliance. Your Excellency, maybe the only thing I can say is that, Your Excellency, in my other career as a university lecturer, Achilo Ayako was my student, Your Excellency. Yeah, he was my student of international trade. And one of the most unique things is actually, when you go to school later to do your postgraduate degree, most people don't have the sharpness of mind that is expected. But he was my best student in his class, because he did not come to this school by accident. So I have something I can say. I taught those who went to Alliance. You know? So I am happy to be here. The last thing I want to say is that a lot of requests have been made. Your Excellency, if you give me directions, we can do something about the roads within the school. Already the management, the principal here had shared with me about the roads internally, and also about the wall. It costs a bit more of a reasonable amount of money to do the wall. You will find in your own way, Your Excellency, of putting us together, my ministry and other institutions of government. If we can be able to do so under your directions and the President, we can deliver it at a more cheaper price, or cost, in terms of constructing the wall. So I am ready. Give me the marching orders, and I will do the rest, Your Excellency. Unlike Wamatangi, Governor, my friend, I also came here with my wife, who came here in our own capacity as one of the leaders in Class 1Q. She's vice chair of the caucus of Class 1Q. Here, every parent has to participate. And so my wife Gladys is here. Please, Gladys is here. And I'm sure my son somewhere is hoping I don't even mention his name. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, because he doesn't like spotlight as such. So I want to say, Your Excellency, Ichungwa, you know, I saw, did I see Wamuyu here? Ichungwa's daughter. Yeah? Can you, ebu chukua yo camera, weka hapo. Na Mumbi is here, ebu simameni wote. The only reason their father brought them here, Your Excellency, is that hopefully they can get themselves a husband, a future husband here. And because he's the father, he could not say it. And I'm now left with the responsibility of saying it. And therefore, very happy to be here. Thank you very much, and may God bless you. Asante sana.
Your Excellency, this great Kenyan, I was asking the POM, Port of Management, during the time when I was here, they also made me a member of the development committee, and we were able to construct a dome. So I want to nominate him to your committee. Let him be in the development committee, such that anything we require, before it comes even to me or His Excellent Deputy President or the President, this man will be representing us in the Development Committee. Mmekubali hiyo? Sasa we nominated as a member. Thank you.
Unajua, Your Excellency, huyo alikuwa mtu ya provincial administration. Amezoea orders. Lakini because Mheshimiwa Machoku, who really graciously accepted when I was sent by the school to book an appointment to see him, said so, then who am I? As a parent, I have no choice, Your Excellency. And I hope, when I was introducing Ichungwa's daughters, I hope my son was watching. Asante sana.
Thank you. Ichungwa. Your Excellency, before I invite you, on one statement from the Bible, Your Excellency, my friend and my brother, we come from the same region, Governor Migori, and we come from, Your Excellency, I'm a Seventh-day Adventist, and almost 60% of us in that particular county and the neighboring county, Kisii, where I come from, we say we are Christians. Actually, 90%. One thing I continue wondering and agonizing over and over again is what Bishop said here, Your Excellency, because those of us who read the Bible, Galatians 5:22-23, clearly says the fruits of the Holy Spirit, and that each and every Christian, if you are one, you must have the fruits of the Holy Spirit. And what are they? Peace, love, joy, gentleness, goodness, patience, self-sacrifice, self-control, and all that. And they say against that, anybody who goes against that goes against the law. It amounts to anarchy. So Ajiro Ayako, my brother, where you and me come from as elders of the church, because I'm also an elder of SDA Church, we continue asking ourselves, what is it that is happening, or what is it that is not happening? Because indeed, are we practicing true Christianity as it is? Because we are kind of going against the word of the Bible, the word of God as enshrined in the Bible. So let us think about it, and I'm sure in due course, we should be able to come with the proper answers, those of us who say, yes, we are Christians from the areas where we come from. With those many remarks, let us be upstanding to invite His Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. Thank you. Welcome, Your Excellency. Makofi.
Thank you very much. Please be seated. Our spiritual fathers, the chief principal and the teaching staff, our cabinet secretary for education, our cabinet secretary for roads and transport, the governor of Kiambu, the governor of Migori, our leader of majority in the National Assembly, the Honorable Kimani Ichung'wa, and the member of parliament for this area, the fraternity of the Alliance, good afternoon. God is good, and all the time. Nisalimeni kwa hewa. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Bwana Yesu asifiwe tena. You know, it's very difficult to speak when everybody has spoken, because naturally we talk about the same things. So when you have 5, 10 speakers before you, you find you'll be repeating what they have said. You know, President William Ruto asked me, he was supposed to come here today, but because of exigencies of duty down at the coast, he was not able to come. And he summoned me from the Republic of Italy, where I was attending the Food Systems Summit, and asked me to represent him here. And the people who work for me had a great difficulty last night because they thought that it's inappropriate for me to talk at the alliance without a written speech because I could mix myself up. Si mnajua mimi pahali nimetoka. So pahali mimi nimetoka tuko challenges mingi ya accent ya Nyeri. Tuko na shida ya L and R, ya CH and SH and all that. But because there was no time for them to write a speech, because I arrived late at night, nikasema basi wacha niende ningangane, ile tatokea tutangangana naye. You know, my younger brother and friend and my in-law, the Honorable Kimani Ichung'wa, intimidates me and the president all the time about the alliance. He can't even let us have a cup of tea. Every discussion we have, in the middle of the discussion, he reminds us that he was at the alliance. So I was asking him today, when we went to the old school, and I found beds that are very aged, cracked walls. Sasa nikamuuliza hii alliance unatuambianga ndio hii? So I have come here and I'm not intimidated because my brother Kimani wants to intimidate me. But we are also grateful to this institution for being a good role model and mentoring our leader Kimani Ichung'wa. The president and I are very proud of Kimani Ichung'wa. He is a polished debater in the National Assembly. And he pushes government agenda with passion and commitment. And since he took that job, we have not lost a single debate, including the finance bill. So kama hiyo ndio matunda ya alliance, namtolea kofia. Kwa hivyo tumekuja hapa kusema kwa niaba ya rais wetu William Ruto, we came to this great school, a great institution that has mentored many people. Many people who came through this school are serious people who have made significant contribution to our country's development. And I want to say, because I know many people who have come through this school, there is something good about this institution. The way our CS Mukhomen has said, the values, the traditions, the ethics. And we have come here on behalf of the president to support this school in what you want to do, to continue building on the greatness of this institution, to be a conveyor belt of finesse and great people and great minds. And from what I have listened here, when I just assess the air, the environment around here, there's greatness in this institution. And the president and I and the rest of us will do whatever we need to do to support this institution. But I did tell the Honorable Kimani Ichung'wa, hata kama shule yangu haijulikane sana, hata mimi si mchache. Najua, it may be the alliance, but they are also the conquerors of this alliance. Yeah. Mimi mtu tu ya kawaida tu. Niliingia hii alliance girls hii. Nikakuta mtoto ya mwenyewe nikachanganya yeye nikamweka box, sasa ni bibi yangu. Sasa niko mbele siko mbele. As we speak, your principal Wanachomba was my schoolmate in Kenyatta High School. So if Chomba went to school with me, and he is the one running this school well, there is something about where I went to school. Pia mimi mwenyewe, kwa sababu nilitaka kuja hapa lakini marks yangu ikakuwa chini. Najua mimi ni mtu ya kusema ukweli. Si mzuri kusema ukweli. Yangu ilikuwa chini. Lakini nimengangana baadaye, sasa mimi amechoma as boss. Mimi ni boss ya Ichoma. Hata na hiyo marks yangu kidogo, mimi ndio boss yake. Mimi mwenyewe, my own son, I educated him, nikaongelesha yeye, nikamwambia hiyo alliance hiyo wanaringa juu yake uende huko. And my son came here in 2006 up to 2010. I've been here to a parents meeting. He passed with flying colors. He went to the University of Nairobi. He is a medical doctor. He is with me here. Doctor, simama wewe, akuone. Sasa hii alliance mnasema hii, mimi niko sawa. I'm okay, please sit down. So we want to say, let us build strong institutions for posterity. And the foundation of this school and its tradition is good. Again, this school is a reflection of the diversity of the Kenyan nation. This is one school where every county is represented. Every community in Kenya is represented. And I'm so glad that there is no ethnicity in this school. One time, I was asking my son, you know me, I'm old school. I look at things the old way. I was asking him, Anyambia, this is my friend, we went to school. I said, Anyambia, what is that all about? The students who have been through this school do not want to categorize people by their ethnic origins. And that is a good thing. And that is a Kenyan nation that we want to build, where irrespective of where you come from, you are Kenyan. And I was in Italy, I was in Dubai, I met Kenyans, and they are all proud to be Kenyans. Nobody cares which part of this country you come from. And therefore, the national institutions that we have, I know when I was a member of parliament, even Mheshimiwa Kimani Ichung'wah here and Wamachukuru and the rest, members of parliament sometimes are a bit reluctant to put CDF money in national institutions because they do not benefit their constituents. But there is a bigger goal, the national goal, that school brings cohesion. It brings wealth of diversity, where Kenyans from every corner meet and exchange ideas, exchange traditions and customs and languages. So in the Alliance, we are doing well. Alliance girls, I'll come there. I'm under pressure from Pastor Dorcas, AKA the spouse with the deputy principal. She came there and found that you have a very beautiful chapel, but there are no chairs. And she has persuaded me very strongly to buy chairs for that chapel. And I have said, fine, but we have to have a certain arrangement with her. You know, where I come from, dowry payment is a continuous process. You pay throughout until the end of your life. So the chairs I'll buy, Pastor, I'll have to call the elder so that we put it as part of the dowry I'm supposed to pay you, so that iende ikipungua, si ndio? So we'll come to Alliance Girls. We'll have some support for you, and I'll come. And your principal is a friend of mine. She was principal of Tumutumu Girls when I was member of parliament for Madeira. A very fine principal, and I'm sure she will do what she needs to do in that school. So, nitakuja kuleta viti na tunaleta usaidizi. You have asked many things, and you have asked for additional computers, about 300, so that you can be tech compliant. We have consulted with the CS Education and the CS ICT. For the time being, we'll give you 100 computers. You have asked for a dining hall. You have asked for extra classrooms and houses for teachers. We have agreed with P.S. Hinga, who is an old boy of this school, that he'll provide quite a substantial amount of money to do the dining. To do a brand new hostel of 600 boys. And a teacher's block to allow the teachers to live with the compound to see how you are going. To the tune of 300 million Kenya shillings. You have asked, you have said you have a water problem, and it's true. As we walked here with the spouse to the deputy principal, we were discussing about the dryness of the compound. And it's true, it is obvious. You didn't even have to say that there's a water problem. And we have agreed with the PS, Engineer Rono, that we will do for you in the next 1 month a borehole driven by solar to bring down the cost of electricity. Your parent here, the Honorable Kipchumba Murkomen, the lecturer to Governor Ayako, we have agreed that he will look for funds to complete the perimeter wall and do all the inner roads to Cabro standard. And we have agreed that since it's expensive and you know we are struggling, we'll do an arrangement with the National Youth Service. We'll provide the materials, they'll provide the labor so that it's cheaper, and it's done very quickly. So, Kipchumba, asante sana. I have not heard how much Mheshimiwa Kimani Ichung'wa wants to put from CDF. You must put some money, my brother. Gabi utapeana? Yeah, Gabi? Abana? Abana. No. Ati anasema 5, mnaweza kubali? Ongeza. How much? Okay. He'll give 10 million to support this school from the CDF. And mupigie makofi, that's a lot of money. Because ako na mashule mingi sana ya kusaidia. Pia President William Ruto, my boss, and the President of Kenya has directed the Minister of Education to give 50 million shillings to this school so that you see, the board will sit down and decide the priority areas. But I think we are doing well. Water we have, perimeter wall we have, the roads we have a hostel, we have teachers block. Mheshimiwa Kimani will give 10 million. I think we are not doing badly. So we'll give you 50 million shillings this financial year. And next year, we'll put another 50 million from the national government. So I think our coming here was not in vain. Na pia vijana, I talked to the captain here, and Kipchumba Murkomen, I think you need to know our traditions. Wewe, wasichana ya Ichungwa, you know I'm in law to Ichungwa. How do you market them without permission from us? Listen and listen good. Those girls are not available to anybody for the next 10 years. We want them to be women of substance, to be leaders in this country. So wewe unasema waolewe hii watoto na tunawapagia maneno kubwa sana. Wewe utalipa fine Kipchumba. Wewe Mombi na Wamoyo tumepagia nyinyi mambo yenu. Don't listen to Kipchumba. He is misleading you. Wewe Kipchumba, kama uko na msichana, you come here utangaze. Hapana tangaza wetu. I think I talked to the captain, and because I'm here, boys, si mnajua mimi ni mtu ya juu chini tu naelewa mambo mingi. Si mnajua mimi naelewa maneno. Nipange maneno kidogo ya bash kidogo. Eh? Nipange maneno. Hii watu ya Alliance hawezi elewa. Mimi nimepima hapa tu nikikaa hapa kwa sababu mimi ni mtu ya huko chini. Nimesikia mnataka a special meal ya kuku and chapati. So kwa hiyo nitawacha 500,000 shillings kwa hiyo maneno ya chapati na kuku na maneno mengine. So ndio Alliance girls msijali, si mimi nakuja. Nitakuja huko, hakuna shida. Once I come, I'll come loaded. So finally, nataka tuokote pesa harambe ya kujenga chapel. Before we do that, my brother Governor Ayako, I've heard you. The preacher for the day, Bishop Mulwa, explained to us the truth as a man of God. That during this maandamano, stones were being demanded that for you to pass, you must have a stone. I don't think those stones were for eating, ama ya kupeleka sadaka kanisani. Hiyo mawe ilikuwa ya kupiga Wakenya wengine, na ile kubwa ya kupiga polisi wetu. And I want to say, from the Alliance here, I want to commend our police officers and IG Kome and the very able leadership and strategic guidance of Professor Kithure Kindiki for the professional manner in which they handled that ugly situation. The policemen never went to anybody's home. You came with the stones and rocks to stone them. What did you expect them to do? You stone policemen? There is a saying, Kikwetu, I don't know whether it is here in the Alliance, usitupe mawe polisi. So you know it. Utatupa mawe wapi? Police. And I want to ask our leaders to know that these policemen are also human beings and they are Kenyans. That police officer is somebody's husband. That police officer is a son or a daughter to somebody. That police officer is a sister or a brother to somebody. I have heard human rights bodies condemning police. Our policemen were injured, others are in hospital. Not a single leader, not a single organization has stood to say that it is wrong to injure and hurt police officers. Kwani polisi ni watoto ya nani? Hata hao ni watoto ya mama. I want to say, if you come to the streets with the stones to destroy property, to steal, to loot, to stone policemen, they'll deal with you accordingly. And I want to assure the National Police Service, as Deputy President and Principal Assistant to the President, carry on with the good job you are doing. You are protected and no harm will come to you. That situation we saw the other Wednesday, are you telling me we were to allow that to go on? When hooligans, arsonists came to Mombasa Road to uproot a road that has been built with the taxpayers' money, when they were stoning vehicles and demanding for you to pass, you must pay an extortion fee, when they were snatching earrings from our women, and you are telling us the police should have stayed at the police station and allow that mayhem and chaos to continue? Not in this country. This is a country of the rule of law. And it's only when the police, under the guidance of Professor Kindiki, made a decision to deal firmly and decisively with that chaos, these demonstrations came to a stop. Those policemen have gone nowhere. They are in the police station waiting. If you don't invite them, they will remain in the police lines. If you invite them to the streets, they will come. That's what they are paid to do. My brother, I'm sorry about that little discomfort that your guards were taken away. Do I take this opportunity to explain to you why? It's important that I do so that you understand. That chaos and mayhem that was in Nairobi that Wednesday for 5 hours, almost burning the country and bringing the country to a standstill. Then they announced that we'll have 3 days of that madness. We had to get prepared. We needed each and every police officer available for that work, because the ones we had were not sufficient. And the very logical decision by Kindiki and IG Kome, first get those ones guarding those who are doing the demonstrations to come and protect the people of Kenya. Where did you want us to get other policemen from? We had to get them from somewhere. And you start with those who are guarding the people who are arranging the demonstration. That is what we did. And we have had, you are going to have talks, well and good. But since I have not seen a commitment that you denounce violence and give Kenyans undertaking that you not go back to the streets, those policemen will stay on standby for now. If in the next 2-3 months you are of good behavior, there is no demonstration, there is no chaos, we shall return the men to you to guard you. Lakini saa hii haiwezekani, kwa sababu tunaweza warudisha warudi kwa hiyo maneno, si ndio? That is the truth. And I want to say, the security of this country is not negotiable. It is not negotiable. President William Ruto and I took the Bible in Kasarani before God and men, and so to protect the Constitution, to protect life and property. We welcome talks. We welcome non-violent ways of resolving conflicts. That we do. But we are on standby. Once beaten, twice, we are on standby. If the talks, Mheshimiwa Kimani, muendelee, musikizane, muendelee, polisi warudi kwa kazi yao. If there is change of heart, sisi tuko tayari. But I want to say today, on behalf of President William Ruto, never again in this country shall we allow people to kill others and to destroy people's property. It will not happen, because it is wrong and it's not right. Nikimalizia, nikiwa hapa Kiambu, I want to take this opportunity to thank the county commissioner, the police commander, and your team for the good job you are doing on fighting illicit brews and bangi. Pongezi. We are almost 70% successful because we want to protect these young people. These are the young people we are protecting. When these young boys and these girls leave school, we don't want them to come and fight drugs and illicit alcohol in the shops. So we are not even just dealing with the ones who are having it. We are protecting the future generation. Please sit down, Commissioner, and carry on a good job done. Sasa situchukue pesa kama iko. Na wale waliongea sana watoe pesa vile waliongea.
Hello, everybody. Your Excellency, the Deputy President and the Second Lady, all protocols observed. I must confess that I also went to the Alliance High School. And I am a proud member of the Old Boys Club of the Alliance High School. Now, before I make very few and appropriate remarks, Your Excellency, Governor of Kiambu, behind me was seated the First Lady.
Even how to say that there is a water problem. And we have agreed with the PS, Engineer Rono, that we will do for you in the next 1 month a borehole driven by solar to bring down the cost of electricity. Your parent here, the Honorable Kipchumba Murkomen, the lecturer to Governor Ayako, we have agreed that he will look for funds to complete the perimeter wall and do all the inner roads to Cabro standard. And we have agreed that since it's expensive and you know we are struggling, we'll do an arrangement with the National Youth Service. We'll provide the materials, they'll provide the labor so that it's cheaper, and it's done very quickly. So, Kipchumba, asante sana. I have not heard how much Mheshimiwa Kimani Ichung'wah wants to put from CDF. You must put some money, my brother. Gabi utapeana? Yeah, Gabi? Abana? Abana. No. Ati anasema 5, mnaweza kubali? Ongeza. How much? Okay. He'll give 10 million to support this school from the CDF. And mupigie makofi, that's a lot of money. Because ako na mashule mingi sana ya kusaidia. Pia President William Ruto, my boss, and the President of Kenya has directed the Minister of Education to give 50 million shillings to this school so that you see the board will sit down and decide the priority areas. But I think we are doing well. Water we have, perimeter wall we have, the roads we have a hostel, we have teachers block. Mheshimiwa Kimani will give 10 million. I think we are not doing badly. So we'll give you 50 million shillings this financial year, and next year we'll put another 50 million from the national government. So I think our coming here was not in vain. Na pia vijana, I talked to the captain here, and Kipchumba Murkomen, I think you need to know our traditions. Where? Wasichana ya Ichung'wah, you know I'm in lot to Ichung'wah. How do you market them without permission from us? Listen and listen good. Those girls are not available to anybody for the next 10 years. We want them to be women of substance, to be leaders in this country. So wewe unasema waolewe hii watoto na tunawapagia maneno kubwa sana. Wewe utalipa fine Mkipchumba. Wewe Mombi na Wamoyo tumepagia nyinyi mambo yenu. Don't listen to Kipchumba. He is misleading you. Wewe Kipchumba, kama uko na msichana, you come here utangaze. Hapana tangaza wetu. I think I talked to the captain, and because I'm here, boys, si mnajua mimi ni mtu ya juu chini tu naelewa mambo mingi. Si mnajua mimi naelewa maneno. Nipange maneno kidogo ya bash kidogo. Nipange maneno. Hii watu ya Alliance hawezi elewa. Mimi nimepima hapa tu nikikaa hapa kwa sababu mimi ni mtu ya huko chini. Nimesikia mnataka a special meal ya kuku and chapati. So kwa hiyo nitawacha 500,000 shillings kwa hiyo maneno ya chapati na kuku na maneno mengine. So ndio Alliance Girls msijali, si mimi nakuja. Nitakuja huko, hakuna shida. Once I come, I'll come loaded. So finally, nataka tuokote pesa harambe ya kujenga chapel. Before we do that, my brother Governor Ayako, I've heard you. The preacher for the day, Bishop Mulwa, explained to us the truth as a man of God. That during this maandamano, stones were being demanded that for you to pass, you must have a stone. I don't think those stones were for eating, ama ya kupeleka sadaka kanisani. Iyo mawe ilikuwa ya kupiga Wakenya wengine, na ile kubwa ya kupiga polisi wetu. And I want to say, from the alliance here, I want to commend our police officers and IG Kome and the very able leadership and strategic guidance of Professor Kithure Kindiki for the professional manner in which they handled that ugly situation. The policemen never went to anybody's home. You came with the stones and rocks to stone them. What did you expect them to do? You stone policemen? There is a saying, Kikwetu, I don't know whether it is here in the alliance, usitupe mawe ya polisi. So you know it. Utatupa mawe wapi? Police. And I want to ask our leaders to know that these policemen are also human beings and they are Kenyans. That police officer is somebody's husband. That police officer is a son or a daughter to somebody. That police officer is a sister or a brother to somebody. I have heard human rights bodies condemning police. Our policemen were injured, others are in hospital. Not a single leader, not a single organization has stood to say that it is wrong to injure and hurt police officers. Kwani polisi ni watoto ya nani? Hata hao ni watoto ya mama. I want to say, if you come to the streets with the stones to destroy property, to steal, to loot, to stone policemen, they'll deal with you accordingly. And I want to assure the National Police Service, as Deputy President and Principal Assistant to the President, carry on with the good job you are doing. You are protected and no harm will come to you. That situation we saw the other Wednesday, are you telling me we were to allow that to go on? When hooligans, arsonists came to Mombasa Road to uproot a road that has been built with the taxpayers' money, when they were stoning vehicles and demanding for you to pass, you must pay an extortion fee, when they were snatching earrings from our women, and you are telling us the police should have stayed at the police station and allowed that mayhem and chaos to continue? Not in this country. This is a country of the rule of law. And it's only when the police, under the guidance of Professor Kindiki, made a decision to deal firmly and decisively with that chaos, these demonstrations came to a stop. Those policemen have gone nowhere. They are in the police station waiting. If you don't invite them, they will remain in the police lines. If you invite them to the streets, they will come. That's what they are paid to do. My brother, I'm sorry about that little discomfort that your guards were taken away. Do I take this opportunity to explain to you why? It's important that I do so that you understand. That chaos and mayhem that was in Nairobi that Wednesday for 5 hours, almost burning the country and bringing the country to a standstill. Then they announced that we'll have 3 days of that madness. We had to get prepared. We needed each and every police officer available for that work, because the ones we had were not sufficient. And the very logical decision by Kindiki and IG Kome, first get those ones guarding those who are doing the demonstrations to come and protect the people of Kenya. Where did you want us to get other policemen from? We had to get them from somewhere. And you start with those who are guarding the people who are arranging the demonstration. That's what we did. And we have had, you are going to have talks, well and good. But since I have not seen a commitment that you denounce violence and give Kenyans undertaking that you not go back to the streets, those policemen will stay on standby for now. If in the next 2-3 months you are of good behavior, there is no demonstration, there is no chaos, we shall return the men to you to guard you. Lakini saa hii haiwezekani. Kwa sababu tunaweza warudisha, warudi kwa hiyo maneno, si ndio? That is the truth. And I want to say, the security of this country is not negotiable. It is not negotiable. President William Ruto and I took the Bible in Kasarani before God and men and sought to protect the Constitution, to protect life and property. We welcome talks. We welcome non-violent ways of resolving conflicts. That we do. But we are on standby. Once beaten, twice, we are on standby. If the talks, Mheshimiwa Kimani, muendelee, musikizane, muendelee, polisi warudi kwa kazi yao. If there is change of heart, sisi tuko tayari. But I want to say today, on behalf of President William Ruto, never again in this country shall we allow people to kill others and to destroy people's property. It will not happen because it is wrong and it's not right. Nikimalizia nikiwa hapa Kiambu, I want to take this opportunity to thank the county commissioner, the police commander and your team for the good job you are doing on fighting illicit brews and bangi. Pongezi. We are almost 70% successful because we want to protect these young people. These are the young people we are protecting. When these young boys and these girls leave school, we don't want them to come and fight drugs and illicit alcohol in the shops. So we are not even just dealing with the ones who are having it. We are protecting the future generation. Please sit down, Commissioner, and carry on. A good job done. Sasa situchukue pesa kama iko. Na wale waliongea sana watoe pesa vile waliongea. Thank you very much. Please be seated. Our spiritual fathers, the chief principal and the teaching staff, our cabinet secretary for education, our cabinet secretary for roads and transport, the governor of Kiambu, the governor of Migori, our leader of majority in the National Assembly, the Honorable Kimani Ichung'wah, and the Member of Parliament for this area, the fraternity of the Alliance, good afternoon. God is good, and all the time. Nisalimeni kwa hewa. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Bwana Yesu asifiwe tena. You know, it's very difficult to speak when everybody has spoken, because naturally we talk about the same things. So when you have 5-10 speakers before you, you find you'll be repeating what they have said. You know, President William Ruto asked me, he was supposed to come here today, but because of exigencies of duty down at the coast, he was not able to come. And he summoned me from the Republic of Italy, where I was attending the Food Systems Summit, and asked me to represent him here. And the people who work for me had a great difficulty last night because they thought that it's inappropriate for me to talk at the Alliance without a written speech because I could mix myself up. Si mnajua mimi pahali nimetoka. So pahali mimi nimetoka tuko challenges mingi ya accent ya Nyeri. Tuko na shida ya L and R, ya CH and SH and all that. But because there was no time for them to write a speech, because I arrived late at night, nikasema basi wacha niende ningangane, ile tatokea tutangangana naye. You know, my younger brother and friend and my in-law, the Honorable Kimani Ichung'wa, intimidates me and the president all the time about the alliance. He can't even let us have a cup of tea. Every discussion we have, in the middle of the discussion, he reminds us that he was at the alliance. So I was asking him today, when we went to the old school, and I found beds that are very aged, cracked walls. Sasa nikamuuliza hii alliance unatuambianga ndio hii? So I have come here and I'm not intimidated because my brother Kimani wants to intimidate me. But we are also grateful to this institution for being a good role model and mentoring our leader Kimani Ichung'wa. The president and I are very proud of Kimani Ichung'wa. He is a polished debater in the National Assembly. And he pushes government agenda with passion and commitment. And since he took that job, we have not lost a single debate, including the finance bill. So, kama hiyo ndio matunda ya alliance, namtolea kofia. Kwa hivyo tumekuja hapa kusema kwa niaba ya rais wetu William Ruto, we came to this great school, a great institution that has mentored many people. Many people who came through this school are serious people who have made significant contribution to our country's development. And I want to say, because I know many people who have come through this school, there is something good about this institution. The way our CS Mukhomen has said, the values, the traditions, the ethics. And we have come here on behalf of the president to support this school in what you want to do, to continue building on the greatness of this institution, to be a conveyor belt of finesse and great people and great minds. And from what I have listened here, when I just assess the air, the environment around here, there's greatness in this institution. And the president and I and the rest of us will do whatever we need to do to support this institution. But I did tell the Honorable Kimani Ichung'wa, hata kama shule yangu haijulikane sana, hata mimi si mchache. Najua, it may be the alliance, but they are also the conquerors of this alliance. Yeah. Mimi mtu tu ya kawaida tu. Niliingia hii alliance girls hii. Nikakuta mtoto ya mwenyewe nikachanganya yeye nikamweka box, sasa ni bibi yangu. Sasa niko mbele siko mbele. As we speak, your principal Wanachomba was my schoolmate in Kianyaga High School. So if Chomba went to school with me, and he is the one running this school well, There is something about where I went to school. Pia mimi mwenyewe kwa sababu nilitaka kuja hapa lakini marks yangu ikakuwa chini. Najua mimi ni mtu ya kusema ukweli. Si ni mzuri kusema ukweli. Yangu ilikuwa chini. Lakini nimengangana baadaye, sasa mimi amechoma boss. Mimi ni boss ya Ichoma. Hata na hiyo marks yangu kidogo, mimi ndio boss yake. Mimi mwenyewe, my own son, I educated him, nikaongelesha yeye, nikamwambia hiyo alliance hiyo wanaringa juu yake uende huko. And my son came here in 2006 up to 2010. I've been here to a parents meeting. He passed with flying colors. He went to the University of Nairobi. He is a medical doctor. He is with me here. Doctor, simama wewe, akuone. Sasa hii alazima nasema hii, mimi niko sawa. I'm okay, please sit down. So we want to say, let us build strong institutions for posterity. And the foundation of this school and its tradition is good. Again, this school is a reflection of the diversity of the Kenyan nation. This is one school where every county is represented. Every community in Kenya is represented. And I'm so glad that there is no ethnicity in this school. One time, I was asking my son, me, I'm old school. I look at things the old way. I was asking him, Anyambia, this is my friend, we went to school. I said, Akanyambia, what is that all about? The students who have been through this school do not want to categorize people by their ethnic origins. And that is a good thing. And that is a Kenyan nation that we want to build, where irrespective of where you come from, you are Kenyan. And I was in Italy, I was in Dubai, I met Kenyans, and they are all proud to be Kenyans. Nobody cares which part of this country you come from. And therefore, the national institutions that we have, I know when I was a member of parliament, even Mheshimiwa Kimani Ichung'wah here and Wamachukuru and the rest, members of parliament sometimes are a bit reluctant to put CDF money in national institutions because they do not benefit their constituents. But there is a bigger goal, the national goal, that school brings cohesion. It brings wealth of diversity, where Kenyans from every corner meet and exchange ideas, exchange traditions and customs and languages. So in the Alliance, we are doing well. Alliance girls, I'll come there. I'm under pressure from Pastor Dorcas, AKA the spouse with the deputy principal. She came there and found that you have a very beautiful chapel, but there are no chairs. And she has persuaded me very strongly to buy chairs for that chapel. And I have said, fine, but we have to have a certain arrangement with her. You know, where I come from, dowry payment is a continuous process. You pay throughout until the end of your life. So the chairs I'll buy, Pastor, I'll have to call the elder so that we put it as part of the dowry I'm supposed to pay you, so that iende ikipungua, si ndio? So we'll come to Alliance Girls. We'll have some support for you, and I'll come. And your principal is a friend of mine. She was the principal of Tumutumu Girls when I was a member of parliament for Madeira. A very fine principal, and I'm sure she will do what she needs to do in that school. So nitakuja kuleta viti na tunaleta usaidizi. You have asked many things, and you have asked for additional computers, about 300, so that you can be tech compliant. We have consulted with the CS Education and the CS ICT. For the time being, we'll give you 100 computers. You have asked for a dining hall. You have asked for extra classrooms and houses for teachers. We have agreed with P.S. Hinga, who is an old boy of this school, that he'll provide quite a substantial amount of money to do the dining. To do a brand new hostel of 600 boys. And a teacher's block to allow the teachers to live with the compound to see how you are going. To the tune of 300 million Kenya shillings. You have asked, you have said you have a water problem, and it's true. As we walked here with the spouse to the deputy principal, we were discussing about the dryness of the compound. And it's true, it is obvious. You didn't even have to say that there's a water problem. And we have agreed with the PS, Engineer Rono, that we will do for you in the next 1 month a borehole driven by solar to bring down the cost of electricity. Your parent here, the Honorable Kipchumba Murkomen, the lecturer to Governor Ayako. We have agreed that he will look for funds to complete the perimeter wall and do all the inner roads to Cabro standard. And we have agreed that since it's expensive and you know we are struggling, we'll do an arrangement with the National Youth Service. We'll provide the materials, they'll provide the labor so that it's cheaper, and it's done very quickly. So, Kipchumba, asante sana. I have not heard how much Mheshimiwa Kimani Ichung'wah wants to put from CDF. You must put some money, my brother. Gabi utapeana? Yeah, Gabi? Abana? Abana. No. Ati anasema 5, mnaweza kubali? Ongeza. How much? Okay. He'll give 10 million to support this school from the CDF. And mupigie makofi, that's a lot of money. Because ako na mashule mingi sana ya kusaidia. Pia President William Ruto, my boss, and the President of Kenya has directed the Minister of Education to give 50 million shillings to this school so that you see the board will sit down and decide the priority areas. But I think we are doing well. Water we have, perimeter wall we have, the roads we have a hostel, we have teachers block. Mheshimiwa Kimani will give 10 million. I think we are not doing badly. So we'll give you 50 million shillings this financial year. And next year, we'll put another 50 million from the national government. So I think our coming here was not in vain. Na pia vijana, I talked to the captain here. And Kipchumba Murkomen, I think you need to know our traditions. Where? Wasichana ya Ichung'wah, you know I'm in law to Ichung'wah. How do you market them without permission from us? Listen and listen good. Those girls are not available to anybody for the next 10 years. We want them to be women of substance, to be leaders in this country. So wewe unasema waolewe hii watoto na tunawapagia maneno kubwa sana. Wewe utalipa fine Kipchumba. Wewe Mombi na Wamoyo tumepagia nyinyi mambo yenu. Don't listen to Kipchumba. He is misleading you. Wewe Kipchumba, kama uko na msichana, you come here utangaze. Hapana tangaza wetu. I think I talked to the captain, and because I'm here, boys, si mnajua mimi ni mtu ya juu chini tu naelewa mambo mingi. Si mnajua mimi naelewa maneno. Nipange maneno kidogo ya bash kidogo. Nipange maneno. Hii watu ya Alliance hawezi elewa. Mimi nimepima hapa tu nikikaa hapa kwa sababu mimi ni mtu ya huko chini. Nimesikia mnataka a special meal ya kuku and chapati. So kwa hiyo nitawacha 500,000 shillings kwa hiyo maneno ya chapati na kuku na maneno mengine. So ndio Alliance girls msijali, si mimi nakuja. Nitakuja huko, hakuna shida. Once I come, I'll come loaded. So finally, nataka tuokote pesa harambe ya kujenga chapel. Before we do that, my brother Governor Ayako, I've heard you. The preacher for the day, Bishop Mulwa, explained to us the truth as a man of God. That during this maandamano, stones were being demanded that for you to pass, you must have a stone. I don't think those stones were for eating, ama ya kupeleka sadaka kanisani. Iyo mawe ilikuwa ya kupiga Wakenya wengine, na ile kubwa ya kupiga polisi wetu. And I want to say, from the Alliance here, I want to commend our police officers and IG Kome and the very able leadership and strategic guidance of Professor Kithure Kindiki for the professional manner in which they handled that ugly situation. The policemen never went to anybody's home. You came with the stones and rocks to stone them. What did you expect them to do? You stone policemen? There is a saying, Kikwetu, I don't know whether it is here in the Alliance, usitupe mawe polisi. So you know it. Utatupa mawe wapi? Police. And I want to ask our leaders to know that these policemen are also human beings and they are Kenyans. That police officer is somebody's husband. That police officer is a son or a daughter to somebody. That police officer is a sister or a brother to somebody. I have heard human rights bodies condemning police. Our policemen were injured, others are in hospital. Not a single leader, not a single organization has stood to say that it is wrong to injure and hurt police officers. Kwani polisi ni watoto ya nani? Hata hao ni watoto ya mama. I want to say, if you come to the streets with the stones to destroy property, to steal, to loot, to stone policemen, they'll deal with you accordingly. And I want to assure the National Police Service, as Deputy President and Principal Assistant to the President, carry on with the good job you are doing. You are protected and no harm will come to you. That situation we saw the other Wednesday, are you telling me we were to allow that to go on? When hooligans, arsonists came to Mombasa Road to uproot a road that has been built with the taxpayers' money, when they were stoning vehicles and demanding for you to pass you must pay an extortion fee, when they were snatching earrings from our women. And you are telling us the police should have stayed at the police station and allow that mayhem and chaos to continue? Not in this country. This is a country of the rule of law. And it's only when the police, under the guidance of Professor Kindiki, made a decision to deal firmly and decisively with that chaos, these demonstrations came to a stop. Those policemen have gone nowhere. They are in the police station waiting. If you don't invite them, they will remain in the police lines. If you invite them to the streets, they will come. That's what they are paid to do. My brother, I'm sorry about that little discomfort that your guards were taken away. Do I take this opportunity to explain to you why? It's important that I do so that you understand. That chaos and mayhem that was in Nairobi that Wednesday for 5 hours, almost burning the country and bringing the country to a standstill. Then they announced that we'll have 3 days of that madness. We had to get prepared. We needed each and every police officer available for that work, because the ones we had were not sufficient. And the very logical decision by Kindiki and IG Kome, first get those ones guarding those who are doing the demonstrations to come and protect the people of Kenya. Where did you want us to get other policemen from? We had to get them from somewhere. And you start with those who are guarding the people who are arranging the demonstration. That is what we did. And we have had, you are going to have talks, well and good. But since I have not seen a commitment that you denounce violence and give Kenyans undertaking that you not go back to the streets, those policemen will stay on standby for now. If in the next 2-3 months you are of good behavior, there is no demonstration, there is no chaos, we shall return the men to you to guard you. Lakini saa hii haiwezekani, kwa sababu tunaweza warudisha warudi kwa hiyo maneno, si ndio? That is the truth. And I want to say, the security of this country is not negotiable. It is not negotiable. President William Ruto and I took the Bible in Kasarani before God and men, and so to protect the Constitution, to protect life and property. We welcome talks. We welcome non-violent ways of resolving conflicts. That we do. But we are on standby. Once beaten, twice, we are on standby. If the talks, Mheshimiwa Kimani, muendelee, musikizane, muendelee, polisi warudi kwa kazi yao. If there is change of heart, sisi tuko tayari. But I want to say today, on behalf of President William Ruto, never again in this country shall we allow people to kill others and to destroy people's property. It will not happen, because it is wrong and it is not right. Nikimalizia, nikiwa hapa Kiambu, I want to take this opportunity to thank the county commissioner, the police commander, and your team for the good job you are doing on fighting illicit brews and bangi. Pongezi. We are almost 70% successful because we want to protect these young people. These are the young people we are protecting. When these young boys and these girls leave school, we don't want them to come and fight drugs and illicit alcohol in the shops. So we are not even just dealing with the ones who are having it. We are protecting the future generation. Please sit down, Commissioner, and carry on a good job done. Sasa situchukue pesa kama iko. Na wale waliongea sana watoe pesa vile waliongea.
End of the day shall appear before the Creator. And 3 things are very important to us, And I would like to draw them to your attention so briefly. Number one, in matters of eternal life, we must invest our time, our energy, and our resources in the things of eternal value. I've said, number one, we must be very good investors. And all of us are good in investing in business, in education. We bring our children here so that they may invest in education for their future life, because they need to do well in the society. And us, at the same time, we also need to know we need to invest wisely on time that we manage ourselves, and on energy that we also make good use of it, and the resources in the things that in future we will find them. One of the reasons parents invest so heavily on the children is when they age, these children will stand on themselves. And therefore this morning, I would like to draw those three important things to you. That number one, we need to invest. Why do we need to invest? We need to invest because man sees time against time. But God sees time against eternity. It seems long because man is infinite. Man is infinite, but God looks things in eternal perspective, because man is finite, God is infinite, and he sees things in eternity, while we, man, see things in a finite mind. And for that reason, we must know what we need to do. And what does the scripture, apart from where we have read, say? Ephesians 5, and I will read 3 verses. So it will be too brief. Ephesians 5, and I will read 3 verses. In that chapter 5, that is verse 15, 16, and 17. The Bible says, "See then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming time, because the days are evil. Therefore, do not be unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is." The point here is we are therefore to look carefully how we walk. The word carefully, how we walk, is accurately. We are encouraged to walk. Paul is encouraging us to walk accurately on daily life that we do. To be wise. Christians are people to be wise and understanding, because they must comprehend what the Lord's will is and understand what pleases God. In our generation today, the word of God has been brought to us through the modern technology that we experience in today's world. You can read your Bible anywhere. You can get a message of God's anywhere you want through the modern technology. And the word to walk is to make the right use of every opportunity that God gives you. And the reason for this careful walk is that the days are evil. That's all. Why are you to walk carefully, accurately? The days are evil. I'm not here to lecture you on the days. You know it from what you see all over the world. The days are evil. The world is boiling. The other places is becoming flooded. The days are evil. So whatever we do, let's be accurate in what we do. Number 2, about eternal perspective, is to walk also by faith and not by sight, what we see, and order our life accordingly. As men and women, we need also to understand as believers, we don't walk by what we see with our naked eyes, but also by faith, because the Bible says, without faith, you cannot please God. And therefore, it is important, even as we do what we do, and if we are believers, then we must walk by faith. That tomorrow, we believe God will raise us when we retire to our beds, and you have that faith, God will wake you up when you retire into your bed. Why is it and you can't see the night when you are asleep? It is because you believe he will raise you from your bed the following day. What does Paul say about walking by faith and not by sight? In 2 Corinthians 5, and I will read verse 7, 2 Corinthians 5, and I will read verse 7. The Bible says, for we walk by faith, not by sight. It's as simple as that. For we walk by faith, not by sight. So I'm saying, it's the second point, walk by faith, not by sight. Order your life accordingly. What does Paul say? Paul is saying, or rather, what is it this Paul saw and addressed us and God spoke to him? What sustained Paul was the realization that this was a temporal and transitory state. We are here for a while and we are transiting to another state, and that is the eternal state. And we have to focus ourselves not on the present, neither are we ignorant of the present, but on future conditions, not on the seen, if at all we have it on daily basis, but the unseen. And this is where, as Christians, we are encouraged so much that don't worry. If you read the Beatitudes in Matthew 6, it tells us not to worry so much, but we build our future kingdom, because a multitude of saints will stand before God on the day of reckoning, when all of us, we will be back in the leadership of the chief shepherd, Jesus Christ. And therefore, it is to live in a light of ultimate rather than immediate realities by obeying God. Obeying God is one of the simplest things, but the most difficult with the human beings. Because despite God's command and the hardships that we face every day, obedience produces mature people. Obedience, as simple as it is. What was it? Adam and Eve, I've given you this created order. You have authority, you subdue, you manage it on my behalf. But one thing, I've placed an order in it. The tree of good and evil, you shall not eat of it. It was as simple as that. That was the only simplest order that Adam had. But the devil came in, knowing all what he knew then, and misled this same person. And today, we are a product of that Adamic disobedience of the tree of good and evil. So brothers and sisters, even as we come today and celebrate to build the chapel, let's remember obedience is key. To our students, I know I'm a parent and we are living under the most difficult time. That when our children are ahead of us, the parents, in terms of technology, in terms of exposure, in terms of media education. But I want to encourage and also caution you. Please, what you see in the media, before you act on it, before you become a fan of it, ask yourself one simple question. Is there a profit in what I'm doing? Is there disobedience